again. It's me, Max, and I'm running the show here at Original Box Set, and I have with me Paige.
Hello.
I think
That is
Paige is
that is
above
I.
me. No, wait. Paige is below me.
Hello. That's just me.
Tonight, between 10 and 1, Paige and I are going to hang out, and we are playing a Homebrew system that is still in alpha testing for the game called Friday Night Frights. To the audience who are with us, I see Acid, Jeff. Awesome. Welcome, guys. We have a story so far. Paige, do you remember the story? Look at all those
I
wonderful
do.
notes. Paige is an excellent player. For all those game
Wherever my
masters out
notes
there,
are.
Paige offers training courses for players. Not
I
only
do?
is she an artist, she offers training courses on how to be a good player.
I would. I don't consider myself a good player, but I try.
You do a fine job. All
Thank
right.
you.
So, do you want me to do a refresh on the last session?
Yes, please.
Okay, great.
I found all my notes. I think I found all my notes.
Good, because if I do a refresh and you look at your notes and it all clicks, that means we both did a good job.
Yeah.
Special Agent Jones and Special Agent Garrett was going... They were assigned to a brief, to a case, alongside of several of the other special agents at the FBI. And they work under... What was her name? Snow White. That's not what her name...
It was like Guatemala or something like that. It was something really weird. I just every
You
single
did.
time you said it, every
You
single
named
time
her
you
that.
said it, every single time you said her real name, I was like, yeah, that sounds like a place I'd fly to and like have a
Yes.
vacation. I don't actually have her name written down because I probably didn't know how to spell at the time and probably wasn't that important.
No, she's not that important. So they were put under brief in which they are going into the lower hills of the Appalachian Mountains. She does? Or is she? What?
Oh, for the
The
when
name
you were
of
saying
the,
I
the
give
name of
I
the
give
person.
lessons.
Oh my! Oh, about the lessons. I'm sorry. Did I start something I shouldn't have?
I mean, I'll give you lessons to be a good player. I kind of know hints.
Watanabe. I found her name.
Guantanamo. Yeah, because it's like Guantanamo Bay. That's right. Yeah, that's how I remembered it.
So, let me take out a studio mode. There we go. Lock these guys down. Bam. So it looks professional. Guantanamo.
Yeah, not a place anyone wants to visit. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Special Agent Jones and Garrett, both of them were assigned to one Senior Agent Watanabe's team investigating a serial killer. In the lower, the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, since January, every full moon, a murderer came out and claimed a victim. In January, the first victim was a man on the side of the road. He had stopped for whatever reason, and there was no sign of struggle, and his body was found about half a mile away in a reservoir, face down, and all of his organs had been removed, including his eyes.
Yep.
The surgical way in which they were cut out, or not, there wasn't very surgical about it. The word that you used I liked a lot was...
A passion killing?
A passion killing, yes. I like that word. It's
a real like criminalistics term.
Yes.
So as gruesome as it is and dark as it is, it's a real criminalistics term.
The second victim happened a month later. In the middle of town, there was a woman who showed no signs of struggle, but her body was found later in a river.
Yeah.
Some miles down the way, and her whereabouts was semi-known from the moment where she disappeared. And there's a little bit of weirdness involving her disappearance, as it might have her disappearance might have been heard because a priest at one of the local churches heard a scream, and then his front door was damaged. The third victim ended up being a priest himself. He was found face down, just like the other two, without organs and eyes. The brain was left intact. Eyes, guts, heart, lungs, these were all removed. The same surgical style or passionate killing. This priest was found several miles away from what would be assumed where he was last seen at, because there's still a lack of information about his daily activities. Special Agent Jones pushed the issue that how could a man so friendly with his neighbors so easily disappear for several days and nobody knew. You have arrived in the town. You had a chance to meet with the local law enforcement, inform them of how you're to assist and what skills you have. And you begin gathering data, going around and speaking with the different individuals, or looking at crime scenes as you saw fit. And that was within the first day. You were super busy that day.
Mm-hmm.
And you even went into the evening when your partner had been like, yeah, let's turn in. So you guys definitely got a lot of ground covered. And you even saw, CCTV cameras.
Yeah, multiple different places.
In multiple different places that might provide more information for the whole disappearance. And I think that's where we pick up. You went out to... Let's see, what's the date that we were using?
April 19th? No, we were using... Because it was after April, I think.
Oh, you guys arrived...
No, it was April 1st.
You guys arrived on April 1st.
Yeah, at 9 a.m.
And note, nobody used any joke like, is this some sort of April Fool's joke? I wanted to avoid that so bad.
I honestly, it didn't come to mind because I don't condone that holiday.
I used to
Doesn't
love
exist
it.
to me.
I used to love it. The internet killed it for me. So,
That's fair.
It's now April 2nd. Let's check out and see what chat's talking about. Oh, they're being sociable. Criminalistics is the sister... Wait a minute. Sister science to murderology and murderology.
I've never heard murderology. I can't even say that. Criminalistics is the science behind how murders happen. The way I learned all of my criminal justice things was in a course in high school that I took for 2 years called criminalistics, where we went over the science of it, how to determine many different things, and also terms of when you're investigating a location as a what are they called? Like a CSI type of thing,
Criminal
where you actually
science investigator.
Basically, when you actually end up going on this, when you actually end up going to the scene of the crime, investigator. Mm-hmm. Where you go into the scene of the crime and you look around and you look for evidence. We also learned that too. So I know how to kill a person and get away with it, basically.
Awesome. I will not say anything about sharing notes, and if any of my future employers see this is all her. I had no hands involved in it. I don't know what she's talking about. I just want my job, please.
It is me, and if you're watching
she's a
this...
criminal mind at work.
If you're watching this, he's in the forest. Where in pieces, in ash, and buried under limestone.
So, we are definitely picking up on April 2nd. I want to page through some of the other pieces of information. So you're looking at the Roll20 right now.
I am.
I will bring you back over. We have a map. Let me show it so everybody else can see. I'm going to zoom out.
Yeah, I perked up when you said I'm gonna page you through information because I thought you were talking to me. So I was like, yeah. I didn't say anything, and I was like, don't say anything. I know. I've been there before in the past.
Yeah, of course, with my name, people use just spurt it out like it's nothing, and I'm just like, you talking to me? No, you're referring to something else.
Yep. I had that problem in high school, and then when teachers were like, "Can you turn to page so number here?" Blah blah blah.
That's not fun.
Yeah, it's not. It's one of those things where when you aren't paying attention and slash paying attention, and you hear it, you kind of perk up, and like my response is to respond with a yeah or what's up type of thing. So normally, if at any time on chat or Twitch or whatever, whenever, if you normally see me perk up at awkward moments where it's like, why did she pay attention to that line? It's probably because my name was in it.
Acid, that's sweet.
I don't know. I think out of all the pages, the other pages that I know, I'm the only one that spells it correctly. So I'm not a piece of paper. It's an actual name. I have an I separating it. So
what we have here in the map in front of us is locations for where the murder scenes took place and where the bodies were found.
Right.
Of course, A represents the first murder scene because that's where the vehicle was found at. B represents where his body was found at. Then if you look down, you'll find a star. In the lower circle, you find a C. And that's an assumption based upon the information from the church. And then there's a D. D is where the body was actually found. You'll see that the star represents the assumed location for where the body might have been dumped based upon the speed of the river.
Yeah.
And so that's what those markings mean. And then in the middle circle, there is an E. I do believe that's an E. I put an E there. Might be an F.
I think it's an F. It looks like an F.
Let's say it's an F. It's supposed to be an E. I guess I put an E down and then deleted it. But the F represents the location for the third victim and where they were found. And there is no E because the E is unknown. But there's an assumed circle of possibilities. Like, okay, because serial killers work on a premise of some type. They make themselves rules that they can't do certain murders in particular ways, which leads us to a last piece of data that we're going to slide over here and take a look at. And I have no idea why the opacity has changed on this. What is going on? There we go. That fixes it.
Yeah. So the next full moon in April is the 19th. So if a murder was to happen, it would be that day. Or, for example, July 16th or October 13th.
Exactly.
Which, 13th of October. It's not a Friday, though. Darn.
Missed it by that much.
Yeah.
So you have at least 17 days to find some information, find the killer, find something that will direct you somewhere. And you've got some pieces of information that you were working with last. Do you remember the things that you wanted to do last?
The only things that I remember that I wanted to do was to get those all the video stuff from each individual place that we put two and two together, basically, like where Mr. Reed was going. And we ended up like walking out to the edge of like a highway where you can only see stars. And we saw that there was a camera over there as well. And this place is pretty dark, so you wouldn't really be able to see anything. But hopefully...
These are the Mr. Reed, Tommy Reed, I think his name is, the third
victim.
Yeah,
Tommy Reed. Father Reed. Tommy S. Reed.
And of course, he lived in Reedsville. So if you look at the map, you'll see Reedsville.
Yeah.
So, because it's his family. His family's from Reedsville, and this is the so you know. Anyways, that was the area which he lived in, and this is also the area where he would take walks in. And so there are CCTV cameras in town where he might have been seen, like across from the bank, over by the old grocery store, and one outside of one of the people's houses. So, you've got three houses that you could three places you could go and find out who owns these, how do we get a hold of them, and stuff like that. You've got those to work with. Because the Reedsville doesn't have a council that, keeps track of, some sort of TV security system for the town, probably. It's a very small town.
Yeah. The other thing is I wanted to talk to the neighbors and see what they kind of knew. Because like I said before, I just don't see how he would vanish without anyone knowing.
Exactly. How does this happen?
And especially, he doesn't have anybody living with him. And
he was meticulously clean, too.
Yeah, and I don't know. He was dead for quite a while, and he's still getting mail to his house, and no family has claimed the house, and even the banks. I'm sure that there's records for that, and we could look into that. But that's suspicious as is. That's strange. That should be taken care of almost immediately, and yet it's not. So. There was that, and then I was thinking of basic records of what other influence do these people have, because that is another thing I was thinking of over the weeks that we didn't have the show, is if these people have some sort of influence on, say, I don't know, the mayor in the town or land that they owned or anything of that nature, that could influence a killer to take out these crimes on certain people, because right now all these people don't have a connection.
No.
And I'd like to find a connection, and if there isn't a connection, then this is just a person who has a passion for slowly killing their victims. So
and randomly targeting them some way.
Exactly.
That falls outside the book of a serial killer, because serial killers have a reason they target. They target only women. They target only men. They target only the elderly. They target a particular family. So there has to be, your guidebooks that you have studied.
Yeah. So far, the only tie is that two people of the three victims, three. So far, out of these victims, religious themes seem to be the only connection.
Yeah. You haven't dug into the first victim, Andrew Blender. You haven't dug into his life too much. So maybe he's religious too. If that's so, then there's a link, and the killer is targeting, Catholics.
Figures or whatever.
Yeah, right now it's two Catholics and I don't know. The one thing you do have to do, and blame the one thing that you were told by Watanabe to do is to go to the assumed location in the radius, the star dot that's on the map. And you guys need to check out where that area where the body was to be calculated that it might have been dumped into the river.
Was he the one that was moved? Yeah, dragged him out.
Yeah, that was... So the star was Tessa Von Hawk. There was a scream in town, the door at the church, and her body ended up down at Arch Rock in the river several miles down. So the math was done to figure out, where she might have been dumped into, and that's where that radius circle was generated from. It's got to be around in here. There is a packaging plant right there. That big old white square on the map you see is a packaging plant. So they want you at some point during your events or running around. It's not like, hey, this has to be done right now. We think this is like the crucial skill, the crucial piece of information. No, it's like it's on the list of things to do. It's like it might provide information of some type.
Yeah. And I do want to check that out as well.
So in a step-by-step way, it is now April 2nd. You've had a chance to get some rest. Where do you want to start your investigation?
Well, I think we should stay in town until we drive out to the location where we need to check the quarry. So let's start with the cameras first. I'm really interested in those.
All right. And by the way of saying you want to check the quarry, so you want to go see where the priest was found.
Yeah, that and where Miss Van Hawk was found as well, because that's out of town. That's down the river. I don't want to drive back and forth. I'm trying to think of this realistically.
Of course. You do have, and I'm saying this is like highly important. I mean, this is important. You've got 17 days, so you've got the ability to drive around. And this is a small area, so getting from Lewiston to Archrock and then back, it's going to take, at most an hour to get there.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, but as a realistic sense, and my brain just does this automatically, Elliot's not gonna go, oh, let's drive an hour out there and then come back to ask questions. Let's do what we can here right now, when we have time and everyone is up, because it's
whatever April 2nd was for this year.
Yeah, so like,
which I click on my calendar, but it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, people are up. They should be at home, either at that or at work. So when we question people and get the footage, like, we'll actually be able to interact with people instead of coming back later on at night, depending on how long the investigation takes at the locations we need to drive to that take an hour. It's not important.
Right.
But yeah, I'd like to get the footage off the cameras.
Okay. All right. So you saw 3 cameras, one at a personal house. You saw one at the grocery store in Reedsville, a small grocery store. And you saw one across the street from the bank on what looks to be an old theater right there at the corner, And so those are the 3 CCTVs that you found in your walk through town. So, of that list of 3, which one do you want to try to go figure out who owns first? And once you pick one, then I will lay out how you would go about this. Well, you could tell me.
I would like to go to the bank/theater.
Okay.
Because that was near the highway, I believe. And I feel like that will hopefully have what I need.
Okay. So there's the intersection, there's the bank, there's the theater, there's the library, and then there is a rundown old gas station that has got boards around the doors. It still has a nice fresh coat of paint and everything, but the front door has been boarded over and there's a sign, no trespassing. So it's it looks like a pristine, nice, old red gas station. There's a more modern pump next to it, gravel path around it, but it's just a gas station that was shut down. So those are the 4 buildings at this intersection. There's other buildings that surround it, and of course, one of those buildings is a small pebble. The outside of the building is covered in tiny pebbles. When they concrete and pebbles, and that's the police station. It also is the school board building for the local small schools. So those are the main buildings that are around, other than other people's houses. Who do you want to go ask about that CCTV on the old theater? Because the theater is not open.
Yeah. I doubt that's even operating. I guess what building's next to the theater? You said the
library.
Library.
The bank and the gas station are across the street. So it's like a T section a T-junction that you're at.
I think, honestly, I'm going to go to the police station and ask them.
Okay.
And then maybe the bank?
Trying to find out which officer is supposed to be in this area.
That's fine.
Ah, yes. Let's see, make sure I'm not about to use the wrong guy. I'm not. So, you entered the building. The car's parked on the side. A elderly gentleman is sitting at the desk. He's wearing a uniform and he's currently on a computer clicking away at stuff. There's a younger gentleman in uniform as well. He's got a gun, side piece, and stuff like that. The older gentleman does not seem to have that, so maybe he's a office-bound individual. But the younger gentleman stands up, and you recognize him as Officer Brandenburg from the other day for your meeting. He was a
Great.
thin white guy who seemed to be really excitable, or at least really excited to be working with the FBI. So when you pull up and walk in, he's already standing near the door, smiling. Special Agent Jones, Special Agent Garrett, good to see you two again. What brings you out to Reedsville?
Elliot will kind of adjust, give him this, like, a smirk, like, oh, this kid. And, he'll take off his sunglasses and kind of adjust, lean on one leg. Actually, I was out for a late night walk and noticed, the old theater has a camera out there. I'd like to check that out, but I don't know who owns this theater anymore.
Oh, well, if you give me a minute, I think I might be able to reach out to somebody, and he gets cut off by the elderly gentleman. Waldenbergs. They own the old theater. And he continues. Sorry, the keyboard would be over here, but if I start punching on the keyboard, it's going to screw things up. So
Yeah, you'll start, like, shortcutting to things.
But this old dude just doesn't even take a look off. He's still staring in the screen. Big, thick Coke bottle glasses. Waldenberg. They own the old theater. And it probably still works. Might not have been on during the night that you're interested in, but it probably still works. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. And you could see, like, just a grumpy old man on the face. And Jay's like, he's right. The Waldenbergs, they do own the theater. He's right. And if you want, I can probably look around and see if we've got a contact number for one of them. And,
Definitely.
You can see there's a moment of contemplation as he looks over at the old dude, waiting to see if he jumps in with... He doesn't, so he turns back. It should maybe take me a couple of minutes. I just got to make a few phone calls.
Thank you. Yeah. Do both of you know what Waldenbergs are? Like, what do they do normally? I don't think that's the first time I've heard this name.
Oh, the Waldenbergs. Oh, Jay. This is Jay speaking. He goes, oh, the Waldenberg. Let me get into his voice.
Yeah.
I just realized I don't have a drink. Oh, the Waldenbergs. They own quite a bit of property around here, purchased quite a bit over the time and whatnot. So that's what they mainly are into. Property, houses, stuff like that. And the old theater they purchased for the purpose of, like, maybe storage or something? Not really sure. You know that TV show where they go around and looking for broken things and whatnot, and they pay outrageous prices for, like, old street signs? Oh, what is that thing called? And the other guy goes, junkers. And he keeps typing. He's like, yeah, junkers. They signed on. They put money into that TV show so that they get stuff bought off from them and stuff like that. So it's all part of a pretty cool thing. They came through not too long ago. Over a month, he cuts in. And the young guy, Jay, stops, waits, and then goes, so yeah, let me make that phone call.
Who owned the place before them, then? How long was this theater abandoned?
He looks like he wants to answer, and the guy doesn't stop. He just waits to see what happens. There's a dichotomy between the two of them, and the old guy, theater shut down about 10 years ago.
Great.
They decided that it wasn't worthwhile to keep one open. They had kept it open for a long period of time. It used to be a drive-in. He stops what he's doing, looks up. The drive-in didn't do so well. People did like it, but there was already a drive-in down in Lewiston. No real reason to have one over here as well. People would go there, get to see more movies. Same with the theater. Easier to go to Lewiston. Plus, they had a better popcorn machine. This one would catch fire every once in a while. He goes back to typing. Oh, that phone number. Yes. He goes over, gets on his computer, starts looking at stuff, and starts making phone calls. This might take me a little bit. There's a diner back across the other side of the highway. If you want to go get a cup of coffee, I can come over and see you after I figure out what you need to know. And he smiles.
How long is it going to take you?
I'm going to start calling some of their listed family members and see if anybody can help me with that information.
Perfect. Elliot will exchange phone numbers with him. Then when you get it, you will contact me. And, we'll be at that diner so we can meet up.
Okay,
for now,
great.
I think. For now. And he looks towards Garrett, because I'm assuming he's with him.
Garrett nods. We still have 2 other cameras to look at.
Exactly, and I think we should head there next. The other one's at the bank.
Yeah, you were going to go across the street to the bank. All right. The Jay pulls the phone away from his ears, like, "Oh, hey, when you get to the coffee shop, make sure to get the best thing there is a slice of cherry pie and a cup of coffee."
Will do.
And he jumps back on his phone.
God, these people are so cheeky. Elliot will say that under his breath to Garrett as they walk out. And, more of a joking tone, not like a mean-spirited way,
right.
But like there's a murder going on. Like, I don't think we have time for cherry pie.
Garrett will point out the old guy was pretty intent in doing his work.
He seemed to know a lot, though.
Yeah, he's probably been around long enough that probably be a good source of information. He says, "I've got to ask him a question," and he steps back in.
Go for it.
All right. He leans in the door and he asks both of them, how long have they lived in the area? The young man responds with, "Oh, I moved here right after graduating when I was 22, so I've been here for 12 years. The other guy responds back, the older gentleman, "I've been here all my life." Your partner then asks, if we have any other further questions about some past issues, could we reach out to you? The old man nods his head, of course, pulls out a card, walks over, and actually doesn't pull out a card. He scrawls his number onto a piece of paper and hands it to you. Trying to find his name.
That's fine. I'm trying to think of if I need to ask this guy any questions, and I can't think of anything.
Ah, yes. Yeah. I used a random generator to come up with these names. This one I decided to change the first name because it lined up perfectly with somebody that I know, but I kept the last name.
That's awesome.
So the old man says, "Officer Woods."
Thank you, Officer Woods. We'll call you if we have any other questions.
It was just ironic, man. I hit the random generator button and your name came up. So I was like, cool. Grumpy old man.
I don't think I've had a random name generator, generator, come up with a friend's name and or someone that I actually know.
I know.
That's amazing.
It was a moment of like, nope. I'm
Yeah,
going to use the last name, but not the first name.
That's weird.
So, you get his number. He punches it in, immediately texts it to you, so that both of you have the number texted in. Then he takes a picture of it and crumbles it up and throws it away. No reason to hang on to it.
Okay, yeah.
Unless you want to hang on to the piece of paper.
No, it's fine. If I have it on my phone, I have it. Unless I lose my phone, then we're fucked. But
Radio's got it all figured out. The clues were in the context, the sub-context of my conversation just then. Radio knows who's going to die next. So you're going across the street to the bank. Bank's nice. It's very small. One teller. Looks like 3 in case they got busy as possible, but that doesn't look like there's 3 here. And there's looks to be one bank manager sitting in an office. He's on the phone talking to somebody. You walk in. The lady behind the counter smiles at the two of you.
it's morning, right?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, she says. How can I help you?
Actually, is it wrong that my first instinct was to give me all the money? But
You've
no.
been playing too much Shadowrun. That's what.
Guilty. No, Elliot shows her his badge and basically just says, Agent Jones, I need to your bank has a very particular set of cameras that I'm looking into, and I would like to see the footage of them on the outside.
She has like the shocked look on her face. She's like, of course, I'm more than happy to help out. And the bank manager, she gives a wave. He seems to already know something's up. So he comes walking out. Very tall man, like 6'8", built like a penguin.
Okay.
Small up top and big on the bottom. And he will waddle out and reach out his big meaty hand and be like, hi, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
An exchange of words go between him and the clerk behind the counter, and he says, I assume that you might have a warrant.
Damn it. That was something I was forgetting. Actually, we just need to look at your camera footage on the outside if that's not a problem. I can get a warrant if needed.
I mean, it's not a problem. Do you have a day or a time? I mean, as long as there's nothing sensitive to be seen, then I don't have a problem with it. And seeing as I'm the bank manager, and the owner definitely won't have a problem with it either.
I'm looking for between March... Let's see, March... When did he vanish? No one knows when he vanished. Damn it.
He vanished.
Well, he was found the 21st.
And it was last seen at Gingsir Lewiston Hospital on the 18th.
Right.
In the evening. Or sorry, the afternoon.
Yeah, and then the 17th he had a sermon. So, possibly... So, Elliot will speak up. I need to see the footage for the 19th to the 20th on March.
2 whole days?
Possibly around... I didn't get the times when he took a walk. Did I get times where he normally took walks?
Yes, he normally took walks, and the father, Jones, told you that he generally walked after dinner and then in the middle of the night. And dinner was generally around 7 o'clock. So you got time frames to work with. That's a plus, especially for the, there's people who are very order-based.
Yeah, so March 19th through the 20th at 7 p.m. and later that night.
All right. He will wander into the back part of the bank. And he come back, and he is carrying with him a portable hard drive. If you come with me, he will walk you guys into his office, hook the portable hard drive up to his computer, and begin clicking away. He brings up the entire library of images, and he'll look to you and says, of course, with confidentiality of my clientele, if you see any clientele and you can't discuss that until we've seen a warrant and gone further from that. But otherwise, I'm more than happy to cooperate.
Of course.
So you guys punch away, and he gets around to the 17th. No, you wanted the 18th.
I wanted the 19th.
You wanted the 19th. All right, so he gets around to the 19th and zips forward because he can just drag and drop and whatnot, slides along to the time, hits the go button. Do you want to go faster, like 2 or 3 times, or do you want to sit here minute by minute?
It's the morning. I'll sit here and do it minute by minute. Be
Okay.
very diligent.
Well, we can always rewind it, so if we see something move, we can just go backwards.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
plus, like, I am looking for a person that I have images of.
Okay.
Whether they have eyes or not, so I know their face.
He kind of stares weirdly at that answer. Okay. So he can-
Elliot just, like, moves his hand and goes, it's early. I'm still, processing.
Garrett gives a nod. While you do that, I'm going to go down the street and see if I can't find the homeowner.
Homeowner?
He goes, he says, I'm going to go to the grocery store and see if I can't go look at, because there's the bank, there's the theater has a CCTV on the street. There's the grocery store that has CCTV in their parking lot toward the street. And then there's the homeowner. Now, the bank has CCTV, but it's pointed at all the bank stuff. So you might just catch like an edge of something.
Yeah. Elliot will nod and he'll kind of perk up a bit and kind of do this type of thing. And he's like, you might want to get a warrant for the homeowner. Homeowners are usually a little picky on these things.
Then I'll just go check out the grocery store.
Great.
See you for a piece of pie.
Yeah, thanks. I'll contact Mr. Woods, Officer Woods, and make sure he gets a warrant for us so we can look at these locations.
Okay. Wood says he knows the gentleman down the street that you're talking about. Clive. He'll drive down there and talk to Clive. If you don't want him to, he can drive with you to see Clive.
Yeah, we'll go with him later on.
All right. You watch through the 19th, and of everything from watching ATMs to the front entrances of the building and everything, nothing, you don't see anybody walking through the zones of the camera that you don't see a person walk through. You do see an animal, though. You see a dog, like a stray dog, near the ATMs, being filled as it's near the ATMs. It comes into the point of view. It's backing away from Main Street. It's cowering behind the curb. And you can see that it's like jerking its head around, and it backs up even farther. And look like it's barking or yipping, and it backs up even farther. When we're talking about a dog that's on the ground, kind of like crawl back up crawling, like no, that's definitely like, as you guys are like watching, is like, what the fuck is this dog doing? That's just definitely odd. You see a shadow. It looks like a humanoid shadow cast just a little bit from the edge of the building, from the front of the building, and you see the shadow, like an arm, like maybe a hand or something, move from the shadow. It's a humanoid shape, and like you see a shoulder and arm kind of move. And the dog just spins around on its tail end, slams in part of the ATM, and just starts running high speed.
That's fucking YouTube, like, see these ghost type things.
The man that's sitting next to you has stopped it, and he's rewinding. What is wrong with that animal? He rewinds it and plays it again. You can see the dog is backing away, trying to get as low as it possibly can under the curb. It's a small dog, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, somewhere around in there. about the size of a cat, and it's trying to get as low as it possibly can and back up. It's not running backwards. It's like it's
cowering.
Cowering. The distance between where the person that you see, the shadow that you see, is probably about 10 feet. Yeah, it looks like 15 feet. So 15 feet distance from the person that's there. That's you can't see, all you see is their shadow and where this dog is. And then when the person moves like just a little bit, it looks like they reach their arm out. You still can't see anything but just the shadow because of the light being cast from the street. But that's enough just to send that dog into a stupid maneuver, run into the ATM, and just haul ass, pulling itself off the ground.
Does it look like it was force pushed into this ATM?
Like what, some sort of weird ass Jedi shit?
Yeah, basically. Does it look like this, like the dog's not like just freaking out and running into a door? Because I mean, my dog does that. But like, does it look like it's...
You can make
pushed?
an investigation roll.
Sure.
And, so at this point in time, you're fast forwarding, you're rewinding it and watching it again like, what the hell? What's wrong with this dog? Do you want to point out the shadow that you're viewing is prominent? Prominent enough now it's not like you're like, hey, look, down at the corner of the screen. Is that a person's shadow? It's like, no, you can see that there's a person's shadow.
Yeah, Elliot will point that out. There's also something that I want to roll for, hopefully. I get a +2 to investigations,
yes.
Right?
And you get a +1 because you put a skill point into it.
Oh, right. Okay,
so you should be rolling against 10 right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's an 8.
Okay.
That's not bad out of 10.
Yeah, no, that's good. You made it below. That means you passed.
Yeah.
No.
My awareness
I mean, if you take for a moment your paranormal kind of mentality, what it would look like for some sort of unseeable force to push the dog, you can tell that the dog looks like it's pushing off with its feet in a super fast, like jumpy action that causes it to careen around and hit the ATM in such a terrible fashion.
Yeah. Well, stray dogs can be skittish towards people, especially if they're abused. Mm-hmm. But the other thing that I want to say, because this is an ATM and I'm guessing this is just in the outside of the the drive-in, and there's a tube thingy, and then you talk to the person behind the window, and then they send you the tube, and then you fill it out, and then they give you a sucker. Yeah, that, I'm guessing that it's kind of in that same area. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right. That's the camera that you're looking through right now.
Okay. This window, or any of the things that are on the building, is there a reflection at all?
There could possibly be. I mean, you might have to fuck around with the cameras for a little bit to find it.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay. That's another investigation roll. You tell the guy what you're doing?
Yeah, exactly. Just so he doesn't know that I'm trying to, like, bamboozle him. Another 8.
Okay. You begin sorting through the images, looking for something to reflect off of it. Just something. There's a secondary camera that sits on the other side looking in as well, and it points inward. And you see through the reflection on one of those plastic tubes, you see a person walk up to the corner of the building. You've got the person, you can see them, you can't make out good definition, you see arms, legs, person basically, and the length of their shadow. But you don't know what this is or who this could possibly be, but you have a picture and you have guys who can enhance.
Exactly.
No, they can't do that. All they can do is be like, this person is this tall, and they can look at the image and come up with some information.
That the thing is too is like if this person is a local, and someone's like, oh, that's John, and they're like, how do you know? And they're like, oh, you can tell by the way he's standing. Yeah. There's many different things, and plus, like, that is something I did want to look at. Is the shadow like math? If I can do math, which I don't know what kind of roll that would be, but to determine the length of the shadow and to find out the length of that thing casting the shadow, which is like you take the measurement of the shadow, and then you take the measurement of the thing that you can, estimating how tall this person is, and then you.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I did it one time. It's kind of cool, but it was based upon a person standing next to a shadow, not a reflection. Your character probably understands the concept, does not have the math skills necessary to do it off of a reflection.
Okay.
But you have a team of people. Let's see, there's Garrett, who's good with computers. Then there's Butler, who is a scientist, and so she might know mathematics. So you have a team of people you can lean back on and be like, hey, there's something.
Yeah. The other thing is there obvious curves? Is this a male or a female?
No, there are no obvious curves.
Damn. Well, I will ask the bank owner.
Do you
politely
point out what you're looking at?
Definitely.
He's staring at it going, I don't see it. I'm not even going to roll for him. He just doesn't see it. None of his primary skills would be in perception. He's just looking at some squiggly lines going, okay.
I'm going to need a copy of this film.
Okay, the whole film?
Well,
I mean, I can give you parts.
Snippets. Yeah,
I can give you parts. I don't want to give you everything because there's pictures of customer stuff. So I can give you from any. You guys pick out a spot. So for the 19th, you get 2 video footages: one of the dog in the shadow, and the other one of the reflection. By the way, cool points for you. That was really good. Thank you for thinking of reflections. I like reflections. All right.
So the 20th. Is there anything on the 20th?
No.
How about the 18th?
No. On the 18th. Let me check.
I actually need to.
On the 18th, you see that dog in question wandering through the ATM area, as if nothing's wrong.
Huh.
Walks normally through there, like it's heading someplace. Scraggly little dog.
Okay. What about the 17th? No. 17th wouldn't be useful. Never mind. Because he was at the hospital on the 18th, so.
Yep. And the 17th is a church night.
Yeah. So I think we're good. I think we're good here. I think I have what I need from this location. I will thank the man.
Okay.
Elliot will stand. He'll nod and he'll thank you again for this.
Glad to be of help.
And he'll head out and he'll meet up with Woods to go to Clive's.
All right. And in that, you need to make a note of yourself somewhere the next time you're hanging out with Acid.
Yeah?
Yeah, did you see what he said?
Yeah, I said that. I know. That is something that I actually need to do. All puns aside, that is a serious thing that I actually need to do. And I was going to ask if I can switch it around because my awareness is ridiculously low and it shouldn't be.
After that amazing skill roll and everything, I think I will be happy to move it up to a 10. From a 7 to a 10, and you move one of your 10s down to a 7.
Cool.
How does that sound?
I'm cool with that.
You can keep your +1 in your perception skill.
Okay. Thank you.
Need help? Un momento, por favor.
That's fine. Yeah. No, I had my awareness in like the 7 slot, so whenever I had a roll, I was rolling against 7, technically without my advantages. So the advantages that I have are +2 to investigations and my +1 to awareness. So yeah, that is actually something that needed to happen to change. I have no idea what I am going to change and bring down to 7 instead of 10, and I think it's going to be subterfuge.
Hey, being able to lie a little bit is a good thing. All right.
Well, I have bluff. It's either that or acrobatics. I'm gonna do acrobatics, I think.
Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna need acrobatics. Watch I say that, and then we're gonna get into a fight, and then I'll have to use acrobatics.
Suddenly you have to start doing backflips to avoid razor blades.
Yeah, pretty much. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Need to write that down. Backflips for razor blades.
All right. Things are switched around.
Awesome. All right, so you reach out to Garrett to let him know what's going on, and he tells
Oh,
you
definitely.
he has taken a moment. He's not as gung-ho about it as you. Instead, he watched all the video footage from the 18th, 19th, and 20th on fast forward about 2 times. There was quite a number of people. This location is so far away from the path that you guys figured out that you were told that the father would walk. He was hoping for something. Nothing. There was no image of the father walking along that. No, I take that back. On the 17th, late at night, he would have. On the 17th, which is the one where he's at the hospital. On the 18th, he would have walked past the grocery store. So he does on the 18th get image of him walking past the grocery store and coming back. Because he was only at the hospital for a little while, and this is like his 1 a.m. kind of walk. So you've got footage of him on the 18th at like 1:30 to 2:15 in the morning.
Can you see the bank from there?
No.
Okay. Well, fuck, I was hoping for more than just that. Well, I'm gonna head down to Clive's. Officer Woods is escorting me.
All right. You arrive at Clive's house. Officer Wood gets out, opens the door for you, walks you over, knocks on the door. An older gentleman, probably in his 60s, opens the door just enough. You can see a chain lock holding it. The CCTV is pointing out at you guys at this section of the street, which is not far from where you know that he would walk to the end of the street and then gaze around. So he would have to have at least passed by here. After a short bit of talking with Clive, it's a fake camera. He keeps it up there to scare away
Burglars. And whatnot.
And then Clive goes into a very dark and terrible place as he says, ever since those blacks moved into the neighborhood, I've needed it.
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Clive. That's all the information that I needed.
He's very happy to help. I hope you catch the murderer. Terrible thing, Father. He starts ranting off. Wood will give him a nod, thank him for his time, walk you away, and ask if there's anybody else you'd like to talk to in town.
No.
Okay.
But there is footage that I need you to look at to see if you can recognize someone, and I hope you can, even though it's barely anything. But he'll hand over the copy of the footage that he has.
We'll assume you guys go back to their office. His computer is not able to handle USBs. So he has this, I'm not kidding you, Woods has an adapter that allows him to hook it up to his cell phone.
Okay.
So he plays the bit of footage. he messes with it to get the footage onto his phone, and he says he can't see what you see. His eyes are too old.
God damn it, old man. All right.
He's like, we don't have a fancy computer, but tomorrow I'll be over in Lewiston, and they've got fancy computers. Exactly. Radio hit it on the button. They've got fancy computers, and I'm sure they have one for a USB. Therefore, you can show it to me tomorrow.
All right. I'm gonna need it back though for afterwards.
No, it's got Vista, man.
My God, that reminds me. My uh mother's mom, my grandma, my mom's side, she has or had a brick of a computer, and she used to use dial-up to go online when dial-up was dying off. So like when we were kids and we would be there and or teens, we were like, why do you still have dial-up when you can get something better? She doesn't use that computer anymore, but right above it is a like internet for dummies thing, and I think it says like 94 or
Oh my.
96 or something. It's old. And I took a picture of it and I was like, this is why my grandma doesn't understand certain things. Like, that's what it reminds me of. Yeah, I guess
Right.
I'll catch up with Garrett and then we'll head to the diner
All
and
right.
take lunch because I'm guessing that looking at all that footage is going to take us to
Definitely.
at least noon.
So he will share with you the video footage that he got of Father Reed walking by. Bio
Great.
descriptions. This is Reed. He walks by in both directions. He even got long enough footage just to make sure there was nobody following him or going before him. And the grocery store was called Big R. Was more than, yeah, we're totally working with you. Give you whatever you want, Mr. FBI person.
Hmm.
You guys hang out, eat some lunch. Near the end of your lunch, Brandenburg walks in, looks around, smiles at everybody, then sees you two, walks over. Gentlemen, I was able to reach out and get in touch. I leave a message with Waldendorf family. It was their legal representative that I was able to get a hold of. She took the message and she'll get back to me as soon as she possibly can. I expressed to her the need for urgency considering the situation, but I didn't discuss too much. But I have her number right here, and he'll put it down on the table. So if you need to reach out to her, her name is Terry Smalls. Give her a call. Maybe you would be able to influence her a little bit better to get this moving faster.
Will do. Thank you, Brandenburg.
Not a problem. Did you have a chance to try the pie?
I think we're about to. And I'll look over to Garrett because I would imagine that they're having lunch.
I'm sorry, what was that? Ace had distracted me with his joke. Shame on me for reading the chat.
Get out, Acid. Your puns aren't needed here. Elliot says, thank you, Brandenburg. We're actually about to. Because I believe that they're having lunch.
Yeah,
So,
this is the time of day for lunch. No, Ace, don't leave. Stay. Your puns are well wanted. It's just I need to learn how to multitask.
I love how, okay, so, Acid, good friend of mine, on Sunday I play Shadowrun with him. Every single time he makes a pun, one of the other players, British Dan, because he's British and his name's Dan,
Yeah.
he usually says, you need get out, whenever he does one. So I have to do it whenever he does it when Dan's not here. And I love how you're like, you're welcome here, please, keep your puns. And I'm like, oh no, like you've opened up a beast.
So, yeah, you guys try the pie. It's good. I mean,
Pie.
it's pie. And you've had pie before. You've had good pie, and this kind of piles up to it.
Piles up to it. Sorry.
He's not the only one who tries to get the puns in there.
I want pie now. God damn it.
So, Brandenburg chats for a little bit, talks about how the people around here are good people, how he hopes that it's not somebody around Reedsville, very nervous about the whole thing, and realizes at some point maybe he's nervous or whatnot, and goes, I hope we find him soon, whoever it is.
Judge intentions?
Sure.
This officer?
Yep.
I don't know what that would be, but
It's
hold
an
on.
awareness check.
I dropped my die.
You have read body language, which is your ability to use awareness as judge intent to determine.
Read body language. I have that?
I thought that I could have swore you had on your character sheet. It's one of the traits.
Thomas has it. I know that for sure. I don't. I have quick reload, not so special, rookie detective, ambidextrous.
So you can't read his intent.
That's bullshit.
That's what profilers do.
Well, I'll give Garrett a suspicious look then.
Okay. Garrett will give a nod, and that's basically you guys saying, we'll bring him in for questioning later.
But yeah, Elliot will just kind of nod and agree with Brandenburg.
At which time he, after he realizes he's getting a little bit nervous about it, he's like, I'm going to let you guys get back to work. I have to go run by my house. I have lunch waiting for me. If you need anything, you have my number. Reach out to me.
Of course. Thank you again.
So, the lady brings over the pie. The waitress, her name's Cheryl. That's what her tag says anyways. And she goes, "You're the 2 FBI agents investigating the murders, aren't you?"
Guess it's not so hidden anymore, but yes.
Well, we all know it's happening, and we've all been talking about it, trying to figure out who it is.
So have we. Kind of our job.
It happens every full moon. You know what that means. Garrett looks at you like, oh shit.
Yeah, Elliot perks up and he goes, "Ooh, tell me more." Like,
that means it's a werewolf.
Right, exactly.
Garrett's like, oh. Do you know who could possibly be a werewolf in the area? She's like, no, I have no idea. Are werewolves real?
There's photos, but no one really knows. It's possible. There's, myth, folklore.
People say it's what do they call them? Organ sellers. They sell the organs for money. Is that real?
Sadly, some areas it is real. It's usually done at the black market.
And Garrett will finish off by saying, "But there's no black market around here. Not one worthwhile to do that."
Exactly.
She's like has a look of shock on her face and do you think he's young?
Possibly. Like Elliot's like looking at her holding his pie, like, I just want my pie. Like,
you can definitely see that she is entranced at this idea, that she is buying into it, and that you're constantly answering her questions is leading into her coming up with another question.
Yeah.
Do you think they used drugs to knock him out? There was someone said that now I forgot her name. Tessa might have been drinking, but she doesn't drink. And so they think that maybe she was drugged.
Possibly. We're not really allowed to divulge any information.
Oh, that's true. You're probably not supposed to talk about it. I'm so sorry. And,
don't be. Curiosity. It's human.
She'll let you guys eat.
Great. Yeah, so the pie is just like just normal pie.
Yeah, it's nothing grandiose. So it's got like some sort of frosting on the top, it's like icing, like a donut. So it's like pie with glazing on the top of it.
Mm. Yeah. Damn. Well, I'm not going to speak too much on the case with Garrett,
Yeah.
because we're in public.
Yeah.
And
And
after the waitress
Cheryl's
just
probably just sitting over there going with her phone out, like, I'm not recording you. I'm just sitting here with my phone in this odd manner, looking at swiping left stuff. No, she's not doing that. That's rude.
It's also very suspicious.
Everybody in this town is suspicious.
It's true. Anybody could be the killer. You could be the killer. I could be the killer.
Wait, I just got into town. How could I be the killer?
Werewolves, supernatural. You're a vampire.
Vampiric werewolves.
Vampiric werewolves. God, I have fuck all in my notes. Like, I can't even think of what to do next. The only thing that I can think of is ask, like, Father Reed's closest friends, but the thing is, he's a fucking shut-in with, like, nothing going on in his life. I guess, like, and of course, getting records and family records and all of that nonsense is going to take forever, and I don't even know how to go through that legally. Like, my Paige doesn't know how to go
You
through
have
that
a team
legally.
to handle that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll send them the information, and I'll
Okay.
ask them to try to debunk the video that I have to see if they can see who this person is.
Sure.
I'll ask them to go through records of Father Reed's family. I would like to contact them about certain things.
Okay.
And possibly friends. I don't know if you could do that with family records or anything.
Well, yeah,
but
they can start searching out social media, look for his face picture. They've got skills. It might take a couple of days to get something worthwhile, so you've got time.
that's fine.
And while you're talking to people, Watanabe wants to know what the production facility looked like. What did you find when you were there? You know, was there an access from the road to the river or anything along those lines? The star on the map. I want to know when you went down there to look at it. What did you see?
We haven't gone down there yet.
Oh.
Eager for us to get down there, Snow White?
It's a good possible lead.
We're gonna head there soon, believe me. We're having lunch right now, and there's no other leads that I can go off exactly right now, so I think we're gonna head down there.
All right, so you hop off the phone with your boss. She's going to get on the information about Father Reed's family. They're going to check out the videos. You're going to drive about an hour and 10 minutes to get to this packing facility.
Great.
That's a nice drive. Lunch, you know, by the time you get there, it's a little after 1, like 1:30-ish. You pull up, and it is sterile plastics. It is a sterile plastic processing plant where they make plastic containers in mass bulk, things like Ziploc containers and stuff like that for varieties of companies. And the place is called Ultimate Plastic. It's off the road. It looks pretty good. You can see the river. They got a fence and everything.
Great.
So,
this is for Tessa, right? Not Father Reed.
This is an assumed location for where Tessa was dumped in the river.
Okay. Hold on, I gotta pull up this map so I'm looking at it. My brain's gotta reorganize because I've been thinking of Father Reed this entire time.
That's fine.
February 22nd.
Yeah, this is like 2 months ago now. Going
Yeah.
back in time.
And I'm not good with back in time possibilities. Okie dokie. I am not seeing where she was dumped, or she was found.
Um,
Arc
Arc Rock.
Arc Bend? Arc Rock
Arc
Bend.
Rock. Yeah.
Um which is on why can't I find it on the map? D. Okay. Okay.
So the assumption is she, based upon when the body was pulled out, they measured how moist the body was to determine how long it had sat in the river, and that's what they got.
Right, yeah. Um did they test I don't know, the speed of the river? Are there any dams nearby?
Yeah,
Are
they
there
tested all of that. That's how this
Okay.
calculation came about.
Okay, okay, cool, great, awesome.
Speed of the river, water in the body. Some assumptions were made, calculations were made. So this is a plant. This is an actual building. So
Cool.
I think Watanabe would have said it. If there's a plant, maybe the murderer works there, and it was just convenient to dump from there.
Possibly.
And so that's why she's been hard up for going down there and checking it out.
Have we questioned any of the workers down there?
No. The police came through and did a walkthrough and investigation, but they didn't have any line up for talking to anybody because the only persons that here during the night are 2 security guards who saw nothing. And there's no security cameras except for the front gate and the line itself.
Of course.
Yep. Nobody came through the front gate.
Elliot's gonna tell Guantanamo or tell someone who he works with that they're gonna have to question the workers. We can currently, but depending on how many workers there are, I think all of them need to be questioned. Especially if you think that one of them could be the killer because they work at this location.
Then we need to see if maybe there's some sort of evidence. Reinvestigate the
I'll look.
the security guards. Do what you need to do. Figure things out.
Great. Elliot's first gonna look at you said the river was by a fence?
Yes, you can see the river near a fence near the back of the lot of this facility. Do you want to get on the facility grounds?
Yeah, I want to go inside the building.
All right, you have
before I do anything suspicious.
Yeah. So, getting up to the security gate and talking to the security guard, he's not going to let you in. No trespassing, he says.
How long is it going to take to get a warrant? Elliot's going to just turn to Garrett.
Garrett's like, I can call one in and see how long it takes. Maybe a day or 2. The guy looks you up and down. You aren't police officers.
Elliot flashes his badge and holds it there for a couple of seconds.
He stares
FBI,
at it. And,
Special Agent Jones.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not realize that the FBI was... I'm very sorry, sirs. Let me make a phone call. So he does. A couple minutes later, white pickup truck drives to the front gate. Man with a hard hat gets out, wearing a vestment and a pair of blue jean pants and cowboy boots, walks up. Howdy. How's everybody doing? Can I see your badge?
Hi. Yes, of course. And he'll flip it up. All
Okay.
FBI.
He looks at it for a minute. Tomasek. And he holds his hand out. And...
Give him a firm handshake.
He says, police already come around, did some poking around, asking questions. If this is in relation to the woman who was found down in Arc Rock.
It certainly is.
All right, that's like 2 months ago. I don't know what you're gonna find. What do you want to look at?
I first want to look at the perimeter of the outside, the river and the fence.
All right, hop in. Points to his truck, spits onto the
Alright.
ground, tobacco in his lip.
Great. Classy. I'll hop in.
You and Garrett will ride in the truck down to the perimeter. He takes you around. There's a lot of storage bins and stuff like that here and there. A lot of possibility of like people. Somebody could. You can definitely see it. Somebody could sneak around down here.
Yeah,
Around the
especially if they
storage.
don't have cameras out here. Like,
It's filled with plastic. If somebody really wants to break into one of these bins and steal plastic, they'll let them. It's just Tupperware. Lots and lots of Tupperware. Unprocessed plastic sheets. So he
yeah.
drives around, he gets you to the side of the fence, and he drives down the length of the entire fence. It is a 9 foot tall or 3 meter tall chain link fence. It's got slats in it so that, wind barrier slats. And then it's got like the fabric paper up to keep dirt and debris. He points
Okay.
at it and says, the EPA requires us to have this fence up all the time to keep dirt and whatnot from the facility washing into the river. Every once in a while, a stray piece of plastic gets out here, and we have to have a walk around the perimeter to make sure we get all the plastic bits up. Ever since they did an investigation, we failed a couple of years ago. They watch us like a hawk to make sure that we don't have any other mistakes.
Doing these walkarounds, have you noticed anything suspicious during those months or those days in February?
After they found the body, I was like a bloodhound wandering around here looking for something. Just anything at all. Couldn't find anything. I really wanted to be able to say we found something. And I can't stand the thought of some crazy whack job running around whacking people up and taking their guts out. It really kind of pisses me off. But no. I didn't see or find anything that kind of, they kept talking like it was done with like a surgical knife or something. I was looking. Even blood. I don't know. You guys got any leads? Are you getting anywhere? Because I know there was a priest that died recently.
Well, we actually just came from the town where we were investigating him. It's taking some time.
Well, if you want, I can give you a ride around outside the fence, up and down the river. I can get to both sides. It's just going to take a little bit, if that's fine, if this is what you want to do.
That's fine. We need to look around.
All right. Hop back in the truck. So he takes you around the rest of the fencing. The fence is immaculate. I mean, the EPA has crawled up these guys so far that these guys can't even breathe wrong because plastic polluting water. And this is a main tributary to a much larger river downway.
Yeah.
Tons of parks between here and DC. That's the last thing DC wants, is one of their main tributary sources just pumping plasticky waste. So,
Or a dead body.
or a dead body. You guys drive outside the fence. Go ahead.
Does the fence look new? Replaced?
Yes, probably within the last 2 years. Because that's also when the APA gave them shit 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, Elliot will ask, have you had to do any repairs on this after the incident, or
Yes, yeah, we do. We have to replace the slats, the fabric material, and the fabric material is biodegradable, so it immediately just like, if it gets into the environment, it's not a big deal. But like kids will come by on the river and whatnot, they'll pull the slats out so they can look through it, and we just got to pick them up, put them back, or throw them away.
These slats, how big are they? Like, could a 67-year-old white woman be shoved through there?
No, it's a
Okay.
chain link fence. The slats are the pieces. You ever seen a chain link fence where they've got the piece of metal that goes through them to make the chain link fence like a solid wall?
Yeah, okay.
That's all it is. Yeah.
And this, Elliot will ask, And when you replace these, do you look over some of the damages? Was any of the fence cut open? And
We haven't had anything like that. So, no to that. You want to take a ride around the outside perimeter, take a look at things?
yes, please.
All right.
Where does your fence end exactly?
And, it goes around the entire perimeter. It's a nice big rectangle.
Of the facility, not the river.
Yeah, no, it does. It just kind of butts up next to the river.
Okay.
Just one side. So he'll take you outside and drive you around. The outside of the fence is just as meticulously taken care of. You see that the grass is tended to. There's like a nice swath around it that, at least a good 10 feet where there's nothing growing. They've mowed it back, trimmed it down, so it can be maintained. You guys get around to the back. Throughout all this outside and inside, make a perception roll for an investigation.
Sure. Ooh. 5. 8 out of now it would be 13.
Ooh.
8 out of 13.
8 out of 13. Hell of a lot better now that your perception's taken a couple
Yay!
of weeks off. As you guys are going around, you notice that up the river from where you guys are at, there is like a retention pond of some type. Or,
A retention pond?
you know what a retention pond is? So basically
No.
a pond that holds water for the purpose of making sure, it doesn't overflow, oversaturate the...
Oh, okay.
But you can see there's a retention pond up the way. And it looks like it's been busted. And now it is just so it kind of like flows into the river. But it's not in the property of this plastic place.
Huh. Elliot will point that out and kind of chuckle. And I'll go, yeah, it's funny that the EPA goes up your ass about your facility, but that's allowed to happen?
He goes,
Has-
that actually belongs to the city. That's one of the old city wastewater retention ponds. It busted about sometime end of last year.
How close is that to the facility right now?
Gosh, you guys are about 20 yards away from it.
Mind driving us up there?
No, I ain't got nothing better to do. I just want to make sure nothing's bad going on with my business. As that falls down on my head. So as long as I'm helping you out, I'm making sure the business is going to be fine. Last thing we need is the government back up our ass again.
Again?
EPA.
Right.
He drives you over to the pond. Stereotypical retention pond. It's kind of built around the nearby buildings. You can see that its shape is based upon what looks to be a repair facility on one side and an old flat piece of concrete over here. Looks like a building used to be here. It's not anymore, and so the shape of the retention pond was between the two buildings. Fences are up surrounding this retention pond, but they've been damaged over time.
Okay.
So access to the retention pond isn't difficult. And then you can see the other end of the retention pond. The fence is still there. The dirt is at the ground level, but there's a hole that goes into the ground out to the river.
Okay, so like a drain pipe almost.
No, not a drain pipe, like where the ground's washed away.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But the dirt's still like sticking to parts of the fence.
Ooh, okay. First question. How heavy is this flow?
Pretty heavy.
Okay. Can Elliot get out and walk closer to this hole in the fence area?
The guy will even kind of okay, so you want it's not a hole in the fence, it's a hole through the ground.
Yeah, the ground. That's what I meant. I
can.
just want to see if any fabric or anything was caught on this fence.
Sure.
Because if I'm thinking of this correctly, the body would have to go through that little hole.
It's also got to be big enough to fit through that hole.
Does it look big enough?
It does look big enough to fit through that hole.
Yes. So yeah, I want to look at this fence to see if there's any. I'm sure we have kits on hand in our vehicle.
Yep.
I'm just assuming for like scraping off metal and shit to see if we can find any blood that's on the fence or even fabric or hair follicles or whatever. And
sure. All right. You made a what on your investigation?
8.
8 out of... Okay.
13.
We're just going to... Do you want to roll again, or do you want to carry that over? Because that's nominal. Or do you want to push it and try to see if you can get better?
I want to roll because rolling's fun, but
Do it.
I don't trust myself. Oh god. 9.
9. Okay, no, so you get over the retention pond, you begin looking around, and you see what looks like hairs twined up in a root jutting out of the hole itself. They look like hairs. They could be some sort of fibrous material, or whatever. But as you lean down to take a closer look, you can definitely tell that that is an auburn-colored hair that's slightly encircled because the person had a slight curl to their hair. That's human hair there. Pictures of Tessa. She's auburn-colored hair.
Elliot will take because I'm like I said, I'm assuming that we have kits.
Mm-hmm.
Baggy that up.
Bam.
Pull on his leather gloves. Baggy that up.
Bam.
And start looking around for because he said it's in between 2 buildings.
Yeah. Well, no, it's behind one building and a foundation slab, concrete slab. And then there's a concrete slab where another building used to be. Yeah, it's used to be. But surrounded by fencing, damaged fencing.
So there's no possible way that cameras could be out here.
No, but Garrett's probably looking for those right now too, as he's walking around the other side.
Yeah. The other thing that I can think of is that you said like a concrete slab is it just because is it like a foundation or is it an actual building?
No, there's no building. It's just the foundation. Building's gone. Used to be at Payless Shoes. It's gone. You don't know that, of course. I'm just letting you know what's...
So it's not... Can I look around that area to see if, I don't know, I see if that was where the murder was happened, or...
Sure, you can look for blood. Even 2 months later, there might be something. As you do so, Garrett calls out to you, goes, "Hey, come take a look at this."
I'll wander over there.
All right. On the other side of a hedge of bushes, closer to the mechanic shop, the fence is ripped inward. It's like somebody took and pushed the pole and popped it apart, broke it, and then pushed everything to one side. So it's like big enough, I would say big enough for like a Ford 350 pickup truck to back up into this place. So access to this, and it's right from the main street too.
Cool. Are there... Well, never mind. I was going to say, are there tire tracks, but
the ground is really soft here. So if something big and heavy, and then you see something, in the ground itself, the ground looks like, and I'm going to describe it. You ever seen small tires? They're like only about this wide.
Yeah.
There looks like somebody came through here multiple times with a vehicle with very small tires and drove like fucking craziness. You're noticing it's a pattern of some type that goes from like the roads here. It's hard packed, but you get near toward the edge of the retention pond is, and there's like these grooves, these odd shaped grooves.
Does it look like he got stuck?
Yes.
And then but he got out of it.
Yes.
So he's in a bigger vehicle. Out of curiosity, even though I don't think that the guy who's helping us is the killer. I mean, he would wash his vehicle too. But is that the type of truck that could carry something like that?
Yeah, his truck could do it.
Is his truck company property? Does it have the company logo on it?
Yes.
Elliot will ask if do all of your workers have vehicles like that?
No. There's 3 of them for the company. I drive
3.
one, and there's a spare, and then the boss man drives the other one. He takes it to home and stuff like that.
Who in your facility uses these trucks?
Myself and the boss man. During the night shift, during second shift, it's Larry Whitaker, and he won't be in for at least another 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
The security guards would also, they might drive him around. I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
Okay.
Why? What's up?
Well, it's possibly that Elliot will show him the tired marks.
He says, these are really small tire tracks. That tire size over there is a wide 32. These look like a slim 16. I'm sorry, I used to work as an auto mechanic. These tires are really small. Something you might put on like a, I don't know, like a small car like a Mini or something. He kind of shrugs. I'm not an expert though, so maybe not ask me. I don't want to tell you something that's wrong, but that don't look like tire tracks to me. It's just too small. The entranceway is large enough for a truck. That's what I meant when I said truck. It's large enough for a truck, but
like to get out of soft mud,
you need to be driving a truck. But see, here's the thing.
That or your car needs to,
If it looks like he got stuck, he didn't tear up the ground getting out. The ground isn't shredded like he got stuck. It just looks like the tire marks that are all over the place, these strange ruts, like he had got stuck and had to back in and up. And it would have to be along the lines that the ground perfectly didn't break underneath each of these tires, like the tires were very smooth and worn well to the ground or some silliness like that. So you're looking for, like, by this guy's description, a big truck that's using silly little tires. That's going to be an easy find. Mystery solved.
No, it's totally a trailer.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking like a trailer. Like this person used a trailer, backed in and out multiple times with like a trailer. So you get the idea.
Yeah. I'll take pictures of it if we can.
Right.
Either on my phone or actually a professional camera, but I'll take pictures of it.
And you also make a molding.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
No, that's fine. I help out. I want to make sure you do the right thing.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so as we're doing that, Elliot will kind of like wander around a bit, and I want to look at this fence. Is this fence, because you said it was torn inward, does it look like it's been done by hand, or does it look like it's been done by a vehicle?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It looks like a piece of fencing was physically bent around one of the posts, and it looks like another section looks like it was maybe crushed by a tire, but there's no dirt on it, and it's all rusted. And
is there any?
You could just take pictures of it and send it to an expert.
I'll do that, but I'll do that. But I do want to check if there is like paint from a vehicle.
Yeah, you would see paint. So I mean, you even check for that, taking pictures and scrapings and stuff. So we're gonna say this goes on into the evening. The guy is like, talking, and at some point the security guards wander over to kind of hang out with you guys too, because you're not too far from the property. People are talking, they're watching, and so the security guard's like, "You guys FBI? Wow, that's cool. We should probably stay back." The foreman will come back up and says, "I got to change shift. The other foreman's going to be coming over because you guys. This takes a while. Evidence gathering. The security guards are going to hang out with you here, and then they'll take you back on the truck, and they can tell you about truck usage if that's still important to you."
A bit, but does your company have any trailers? Small ones, preferably.
No, I can't. No, we don't.
Okay.
No.
Well, thank you for driving us out here.
Yeah, not a problem. Sorry, I can't take you back. And then he'll leave.
That's fine.
Probably around 3-ish, 4 o'clock or so is when you finally get done with taking those samples. No, yeah, about 3-ish. You get a call from Watanabe. She wants to have, like, all. You're just now getting done. Hey. Ring, 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 ring. It's your boss.
Yeah, what's up, Guantanamo? What's up?
Just wanted to check in, see if anything came about of going to check out the production facility.
Well, nothing at the facility per se, but a little ways past it is this, what did you call it? Like a reserve pond?
Retention pond.
Retention pond. Uh, owned by the city, apparently. But it looks like our killer decided to drop off their body here. I even found hair follicles on the fence, tire tracks, the fence being bent in to actually drop the body into the pond. And we're still kind of looking around. Garrett's waiting for the mold to be done.
Can you drive those samples in to the office tonight? Back
Sure.
to DC. I don't want to wait. If you can get those molds up for those tires and that hair sample driven back in, that would be great.
Definitely.
All right. Give me an idea what time you're going to come back in, and I will bring back in a technician and get somebody to work a late shift so we can be on top of this.
Perfect. I also suggest that not just the two of us check out this location, but somebody else. I mean, we're doing a lot of work up here, but
we will send somebody
getting
back
late.
with you. If you've got more evidence than you can handle, you need to be on top of the questioning and moving about. We will send in a evidence collection team.
Perfect.
Make sure that area stays cordoned off so that nobody goes in it. Recruit local law enforcement if you have to.
Will do.
All right.
See ya in...
Good work.
Thank you. We'll see you in about, what, two hours?
It's going to be an hour drive. It's going to take you at least an hour to clean up and an hour to get your shit back together. So, like, 3 hours you'll be there.
Yeah. So we'll see you in 3 hours. We're probably going to pick up food along the way.
All right, fine. See you in 4 then.
Great.
So,
I'm going to get the security guards to help us out cordon this off,
sure.
since they're here.
Bam. They're like, they jump on the opportunity to help you out. Roll the tape out. Tell people to go away.
Yeah,
Some
pretty
people are
much.
up the road, like, taking a picture. What are they doing down there putting tape up? I'm going to take pictures.
Yeah, Elliot will, as they're coordinating off and there's somebody taking photos, he'll just look at the security guard and go, exactly like these people, you need to keep them out of here.
All right, can do.
Great. Thank you. And after that, I guess they'll start heading back towards DC.
All right, so you gather the samples. Do you swing by your hotel and grab your stuff, or are you going to leave it at the hotel? Because your hotel's out indefinitely. You don't have to worry about that.
Oh, then we'll grab our stuff.
So you grab your stuff, head back to DC, stop, get yourself some dinner. Any interesting conversation you want to have with Garrett, or can we just, like, keep going forward?
There's nothing that I can think of at the top of my head.
Maybe a little back and forth between the two of you about non-work related things.
Yeah, pretty much. I would also like to imagine that Elliot goes into a tangent of, if this is supernatural, that the person has to be able to drive their vehicle, drop off this body in this pond, and deal with being a supernatural being while doing that. Like, I wonder if they're actually meaning to do these crimes or not. Like, if it's actually like something mental within them that's actually stopping them.
Are you saying werewolves can't drive?
I'm not. No,
You're saying you just said werewolves can't drive.
I think it came out wrong. I'm simply saying that if this person is like a werewolf or a vampire or whatever, and they have the urge to commit this crime, they're gonna have to go out of their way and panic and drop off this body in this location. How they knew about this receptacle pond, is that the right term? How they knew about it is beyond me. But they would actually have to go out of their way and be like, well, fuck, I have a dead body.
Yeah.
Have to drop it off somewhere. They wouldn't call the police.
No,
Or,
yeah.
Have the government get involved because supernatural things are still kind of like under wraps. People are freaking about supernatural beings and whatever. It's usually the government
Exactly.
problem. But
Garrett just shakes his head at you. I don't know why you think werewolves can't drive.
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm not going to live that one down.
He like takes the balled up straw and like pelts it at him. Like,
Halfway through dinner, he's drinking on his milkshake because you stopped at a Steak and Shake. You think mummies can drive?
mummies can't survive out here. It's fucking Pennsylvania. Why do you think mummies are out here? No, so that's like a curse. That's completely different mythology.
What? You really have this stuff memorized, don't you?
So people have hobbies, man.
I can't wait to go home and sleep in my bed tonight.
That hotel wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It's just, I prefer my house because I can stay up to like 3 o'clock playing Xbox and not have to worry about werewolves, mummies, and
Murderers. So
you guys get back to DC. You catch up with Watanabe. She gets your evidence from you. Again, she gives you props. She says, I really thought that was a good thing to lead into. I'm glad that it turned out. I'm glad you guys found stuff. Right after I got off the phone with you, I sent a team out there to the same location. So they're already on their way. So when you get back out there, they're going to be ahead collecting the information, all the pictures and whatnot. So in the morning, can you email all this information to these people? And she'll give you the name, who's running the evidence gathering.
Of course.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll send it out tonight.
They can?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm really loud.
Yeah.
So?
I can't go to bed if you're going to be yelling.
I have to be quiet. I'm not even yelling yet. I will be when the werewolf starts driving.
I'll tell you when I'm going to bed.
Okay. All
But
right.
yeah, Elliot will nod and be like, yeah, I can email that to you. Or email the team.
All right. So, yeah, you get to go home. You get to sleep in your own bed for the night. You don't have
Sweet.
to. You don't have to make too much of effort. So you get up the next day. You email people. People out gathering evidence. Is there anything you want to do? It's now the 3rd. You're back in DC.
I guess, like, catch up with if anything has come up with the evidence, because I would imagine. I mean, this is.
This is
never
like the
mind.
next morning.
Yeah, never
Nothing's
mind.
happened. They just got the pictures. They're starting to look at the picture of the reflection right now.
Damn it.
It's not NCIS where they're just like.
Yeah,
magnified.
but like Elliot's a workaholic, so like when it comes to stuff like that, because I would imagine even at night when he gets home, he's like poring over his notes and being like, "I'm missing something," and then like going to bed at like 3.
Not Garrett.
No.
Suck it,
What a
noob. Camping is legal.
Is it weird that I like to imagine that Elliot has to join certain lobbies just to have conversations with Garrett about this thing and also play video games with him? Like,
That would be pretty cool.
I do kind of imagine that, where it's like, well, I think that this reflection would help us if just, can you fucking watch my back for 5 seconds? Like, you can do it on the field, you gotta do it in game.
You've got training for this, man. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
exactly. Yeah, I can't really think of anything right now. I'm kind of I don't really have a lead either. I
No,
don't even
you've
know
been
where to
gathering-
go.
You're right. You've been just gathering evidence. All right. So now it's a waiting game.
I guess so.
It's the 3rd. The 3rd. Let's just go over what I wrote down. The things that you said you wanted to do. You already did all those things. Did you want to reach out to Miss Terry Smalls to see if you could get the Walden
Yeah,
Dwarfs
that's
to
a good
move
idea.
faster? So maybe that's
Yeah.
what you do today.
Yeah, I'll call her up.
Okay. Um, and you don't have to, actually. You could get somebody in the office to do that if you don't want to. I mean,
I have nothing else to do. I'll do it.
right. Miss Smalls sounds like a small woman when she answers the phone. She kind of sounds chirpy and happy and thanks you for calling. You identify yourself to her, and she responds back with, "Oh, I'm glad you reached out to me. I reached out to the Waldendorfs, and Mr. Waldendorf has got back to me and says that the camera in the old theater does work and probably has been on quite a bit.
Yes.
He's still paying for the security system and the security company in question. He's reaching out to them now for any information. I'm so glad that you called. I'm glad that we're able to help with this terrible, terrible moment in time."
Yeah, well, I'm actually happy that the camera still works. That's good news.
Mr. Waldendorf wants to make sure to protect his property at all times, and so that camera's up to date and should, if there's anything there, we will be more than happy. We will need that warrant ahead of time, though, but we will gather the information prior to.
Perfect. I'll send you a copy of the warrant when it's gone through paperwork.
Not a problem. She'll give you an email, fax number, whatever it's going to take for it to get there.
Great.
So that takes up probably like the first part of your morning. So then
Great.
you probably head off to the office and be like, push through the effort to get that warrant sent over, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That takes a decent amount of your day. You get a chance to go sit in the meeting, and this is on the 3rd still. And you guys, everybody, including Garrett, sit around and start talking, looking at the evidence. The clay molds, the plaster Paris molds of those tire tracks are weird. They are strange, smooth tires. Sorry, they're tires for the majority part. They're smooth or nodular like. They have nodes on them, so they're like bumpy, which doesn't make any sense, because that wouldn't make a very good traction tire.
Unless it's meant for mountains.
Yeah, but the bumps are very small. It wouldn't do good gripping for mud. It might do good gripping for rocky surfaces, really rocky surfaces. So I mean, they'll draw a diagram of the tire, and it looks cartoony.
As I would imagine somebody's having a PowerPoint talking. Elliot makes eye contact with Garrett and just mouths aliens. And he gives him a nice grin. And then he turns his attention back to the PowerPoint. The only thing that I can think of that has, yeah, like it would be like a mountain bike or some shit. Like this is meant for like
Some
camping.
sort of weird trailer mountain tires. So they point at the evidence. They talk about things. One of the other agents asked if you ever got a chance to see the church door or ask about it.
Yep, we did. Well, no, actually, it was repaired. We didn't actually get to see the damaged door. Apparently, it was taken care of. So
See if you can find out if they've got access to the damaged door.
I don't think I remember asking them. I don't think they. I'll go back to them and ask if they have it.
Okay. Then there's questions about the family members. They want to get a chance to talk to the family members of everybody. So right about now, I'm meeting the family members like Andrew Bender's family, Tessa von Hawk's family, as well as Father Tommy Reed's family. So the team is going to spend the next few days trying to reach out to these people, see if they can find them, see what's going on. So that's like the new goal. See if we can dig into these people, find out what their common factor is, what all 3 of these people share together, other than just being people in like the wrong place at the wrong time.
Exactly.
So it's time to dig into social media, get more evidence. Right now, the boss wants you to hang out and do the social media thing. Talking to families.
Fine.
Making phone calls.
Great.
Garrett.
Exciting. Riveting.
So between you and Garrett, you guys get to pick. You can either take Andrew Bender and his family, or you can reach out to Tessa Van Hawk and her family.
Let's do Tessa.
Okay.
Only because it's semi-recent.
All right. All right. You check it out, and Tessa's husband, Fred Van Hawk, as far as you can tell from paperwork, he's alive. She's got 2 kids. She's got 1 kid. His name is Edward Van Hawk. And Edward Van Hawk is married to a Sarah Van Hawk. And all of them live in the Lewiston area.
Okay, Lewiston. I'm probably spelling that wrong. What were their names again? She had 2 kids?
She has 1 kid, Edward.
Oh, 1 kid.
Her son's Edward, and Edward is married to Sarah.
Edward, married Sarah. And there was another name in there, though.
Fred Van Hawk, that's the husband.
Okay. I doubt any of these people are suspects, but you never know.
Never know.
I doubt it though, because this is a serial killer. I don't think it would be a family member that's actually going around in location to location, unless surprisingly it is, and just
And
happens
it's
to be a
just
quinky dink.
Quinky dink. All right,
Yeah.
so yeah, they're there. So I'm assuming you reach out to try to get a hold of Fred, Edward, or Sarah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna start with the husband, Fred.
You find a number listed for him, and you call it at least once or twice, but you get no answer.
Okay. I'll call Edward then.
Turns out Edward is actually a name that pops up something interesting. He's running for city council up there in Lewiston. So you get his number and his office number. You get his number based upon like the records from the police department, but you get his office number for city council.
Edward is running for city council?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. What about Sarah?
Wife. Social media just shows her as a wife.
Okay. Well, I'll call Edward then.
All right. You get in touch with his office, and they put you right on through.
Great.
Hi, this is Edward Von Hawk.
Hello, Mr. Von Hawk. This is Special Agent Elliot Jones. I'm here to actually, I'm calling you because I need to speak to you about the murder of Tessa Von Hawk. And my condolences in advance.
Everything I know, I've already told the police. My mother went missing. My dad reached out to me that day. We kind of looked around, and then her car was found in the parking lot. And then we were worried. And then she was found. That's all I've got. I mean, like, there's like this huge drawn out pause.
I understand. However, does she have any connections with deeper ties? Obviously, for example, is she religious in any way?
Oh, my mom loved going to church. We all do. Very.
Was she
very practicing. We're very part of the church.
How big of her part was for the church?
I mean,
Was
she was the
she
one that made sure we got to church on Sunday. We dressed and cleaned, made sure that we tithed, did our prayers.
she never like volunteered or gave a sermon of
She
whatever?
never gave a sermon, but she definitely volunteered to help the church out all the time. My wife says that my mother was kind of worried a few days prior to her disappearance. She said that my mom was acting strange, and we talked about it, but Agent, all I can tell you is that my wife noticed it, I didn't. I was too busy and too blind and too much a fool. I don't know who she was talking with or what could have happened or how this could have happened. My wife just pointed out, Mom's acting weird. And I said it'll be okay, and I brushed it off, and I wish I hadn't.
You shouldn't beat yourself up about this. How strange was she acting?
That's just it. They found alcohol in my mom's car. She doesn't drink. My mom never drinks. She doesn't even take adult communion. She always takes the children's communion.
Was she talking with anyone that normally she doesn't talk to, or
I mean, Sarah might know. She's at the house right now. I would tell you my dad might know. He's at the house too, but my dad hasn't been well. Ever since it happened, he's been slipping quicker and quicker away.
may I have their phone numbers
Of
then?
course, he will give you the number. My dad doesn't answer his phone, so I'll give you my wife's.
Thank you. Well, I'm sorry for your loss, but thank you for the information.
You're welcome. I hope you catch the son of a bitch. You hear his voice waver and quiver a bit.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're looking. And he'll say goodbye and hang up.
All right. So you reach out to Sarah.
Yes.
All right. She enters, greets you. Sarah. Hello.
Hello, Miss Vanderhawk.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I'm Agent, Special Agent Elliot Jones. I've recently have contacted your husband, but I'm contacting your family for questions on the murder of Tessa Von Hawk. My condolences in advance, but we do need more information.
Okay. Um, I don't feel comfortable talking about this stuff over the phone. I feel really flushed right now, so I'm just going to sit down. Can we meet?
We could.
I'm sorry if it means you have to drive out or something. I don't feel comfortable talking about her passing over the phone. It's just something I feel. It's not you. It's not bad. It's just me. I've always just wanted to see people's faces when I talk to them about death.
That's fine, I understand. At this moment, I cannot drive out to meet you.
That's not sketchy. Of course it's sketchy. It's real sketchy.
I mean, hey, I get it. There are some things I don't want to talk about on the phone.
Yep.
Um,
Like my credit card numbers.
yeah, exactly. As I said, I can't drive out currently. I can drive out in a couple of days, or I could, because in today's technology, I could FaceTime you if needed.
Oh,
I can drive out in person if that is preferred.
I would prefer it. It's just a feeling I get when I was young. Um, my mother talked on the phone with her mother about um, my dad, her dad passing, my grandfather, and I hate to say this on the phone again, but after she did that, my grandmother scolded her about doing it, saying it was a bad thing, and she brushed it off. And it wasn't more than a week later that my father passed away. And so I can't do it. Actually, no, she wouldn't even say that because that would be over the phone. Never mind. That's internal character stuff. She's like, yeah, if you can drive out, that would be great.
Yeah, I can drive out tomorrow in the early morning.
That's fine.
Perfect. Then I will see you then. Thank you again.
All right. In the afternoon, you meet back up with Garrett. And he tells you...
Yeah, tell me more, Garrett.
He tells you, Bender's family is, comparative to everybody else that you guys have met in Lewiston, they are very dynamic and different. Bender apparently was gay and had a lover who and was part of a smaller community of people out there. The whole family is. They talked about how they believe it was somebody in the community disliking them because of their differences. At least that's what the Andrew's brother was talking about. His sister, on the other hand, was the one who drove the car back and called his phone. So she was very helpful. Said that they don't have really any understanding of if there was somebody that Andrew didn't like. But of course, Andrew being different, people treated Andrew, or at least he felt as if people treated him differently. He was always very friendly to everyone. And so they can definitely see this as, a terrible situation where he saw somebody in need, being a helpful person, decided to stop and help them. And then that was pretty much sealed his fate.
You didn't get any, religious ties or anything of that nature?
No, actually, they're very non-religious. I did ask about it. They described him as agnostic, but the rest of the family is definitely atheist. He was the only one who had any religious ideals in the family, of course, stating, and I quote, "There's got to be something out there." Words from apparently his diary that his brother was reading through.
He has a diary?
Yeah, Andrew apparently has a diary that the family read through during his family vigil. Was
he acting strange at all in his diary? Do you know that?
Last diary entries is what they were looking at too, and there was nothing. There was nothing talking about anybody in particular paying attention to him or anyone saying anything nefarious. Social media doesn't have anything either. But of an entire family of atheists, he was the only agnostic. So there's your religion.
Well, it's something, I guess. He honestly could have said something to the killer to make him, I don't know, seem more religious than he actually was.
Yeah. I mean, this could have been just like the first step off for his... for this. I don't even... Max has lost the word. There's, what is the word for anti-religious? It's like
I mean, atheist is correct.
No. When somebody is against religions in
total.
Anti-Semitic is anti-Jewish. It's the anti-religious one. I can't remember it though. I'll remember it later and be like, wake up at like 5 in the morning, and be like,
5 in the morning, be like,
militant, atheist. Oh, that's a scary idea.
yeah, I can't think of it. I can't think of the term. I do know what you're talking about, though.
All right.
You're terrifying. Um, uh, well, I get. God damn it. Well, Elliot will explain. He'll clear his throat when. Well, I have to drive out to physically talk to Tessa's family.
Okay.
Apparently, the wife of Edward, her son, doesn't like talking over the phone about death or anything in particular. So
All right.
that's
So,
my evening tomorrow.
so you're going out by yourself, or do you want me to go with? Because I mean, I have still stuff to do in the office, and have you cleared this one with Wantanabe? That make sure she doesn't have anything else for you to chase down.
You can stay here.
I'll copy for you.
Thanks. I guess that's it. So if I do that today, I can't really do anything else. And
All right.
April 4th, I'm gonna drive out.
And you do. You get out on April 4th, and it doesn't take you long to find their address. It's a nice, cozy little house tucked amongst all the rest as you come pulling up. Drive off to one side. 2-story. Looks like at least a 4, maybe 5-bedroom house. This guy looks like he's doing well for himself. Maybe they just have money. You get up and you walk over to the house, knock at the door, a couple minutes. A woman answers the door, probably in her late 30s. She greets you and tells you her name is Sarah. Please come in. She's got some tea ready. She'll tell
Elliot
you.
will
Go ahead.
Elliot will introduce himself and give her a firm handshake.
She gives you a soft handshake. During the tea, she tells you about the story about her mother, her grandmother, passing of her grandfather, and then the passing of her father, and the realization that you're not supposed to talk about death over the phone. So she doesn't, because she can't lose her husband. Yeah.
Supernatural.
Totally. In her mind, this is a thing.
Yeah.
During the conversation, you get to find out that Fred von Hock lives with them. But dementia has won.
No, I need that information. God damn it, illness.
So it comes across in a kind of a sad way as you guys are talking, and she's talking about that that evening, and then Fred walks in, and he says, "Sarah, I thought I wear this shirt yesterday." And she turns and goes, "No, Fred, you haven't. I washed your laundry. That's a fresh, clean shirt." He goes, "Okay." Then he looks to you. "How you doing?"
Fine, thank you.
"Fred." And he walks over.
Elliot.
"Nice to meet you, Elliot. You're one of Edward's friends from college?"
No, I'm a FBI agent.
"Oh. That sounds like a fun job. What are you doing here?" And he has a seat. And so there's the conversation starts talking about what you're doing and whatnot. And he just kind of stares at you. Well, and that's at some point during the conversation, you mentioned Tessa. The woman doesn't stop you, but he just says, and this is where it destroys, the moment. "Oh, Tessa's at work right now. She'll be home later."
Yeah, Elliot's not gonna touch that. Because I don't know how to deal with that. But he'll kind of nod a bit.
After a little bit of a hard conversation, Sarah convinces Fred to go check out his shows and watch some TV in his room, and he does. At which point she just tries to hold back the tears.
Yeah. Elliot's gonna do his best to comfort her. Cause that is super depressing.
She says he has moments of clarity. He'll remember, especially when she doesn't come home tonight. There'll be a lot of crying. He doesn't. It's just not. It's not getting any better for him. We don't know how much longer he's going to be with us. But there was something going on. She was not happy. The other. We had. It was, I think, Friday or Thursday. And I remember going by her house to drop some bread that I just made off. And she was going through paperwork. And I asked her, "Is everything okay?" And she said, "Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I've lost something very important." I said, "You're always so organized. What could you have possibly lose?" And she goes, "I can't tell you yet because I just need to find it and figure this out." And, Tessa was not one to keep secrets. And I said, "Well, if you need help finding," she's like, no, let me look on my own. This is important. I need to do this. God's given me a task. I got to see it to the end. She goes, "Okay, God willing, I know you'll see it through the end and everything will come out okay." And she mumbled something and then I left. I don't know what she was.
Did you get a chance to look at any of her paperwork?
No. And if it's anywhere, I don't know where it's at. I don't even know what I'd be looking for.
She lived in this house, yes?
No, they lived on the other side of Lewiston. I can take you there.
Where's her belongings? That's the more important question.
Still over there. We haven't finished packing everything up. We haven't finished sorting it out. We haven't really wanted to bring it over here until we resolved what we're going to do about Frank, whether he's going to a home or not.
I understand. Does she seem like she had lack of sleep?
Yes.
Or
she had to. She was so tired looking. I remember looking at her face going, "Wow, something is up." But I just didn't ask because, sometimes people have a bad day.
That's understandable. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of things.
No, it's fine. If you don't actually have anything, you don't have anything. And if you want to go look at their place and kind of look around,
yeah,
we can transition from there to there. We don't have to stay at this point.
Yeah, I think Elliot will want to see that place. Okay. And
he will, they will, Frank's going to go take a nap and you guys are going to drive across town. You go back to say, Frank has already forgotten who you are. Already forgotten. Oh, hey, I didn't know we had company. That level of dementia. You drive across town. This other house is a nice house, too. You get out. You park on the street, because this is in town. And you go into the house, and it is wonderful. It's immaculate. There's tons of stuff everywhere. You find the desk, and you begin finding, mail. You start sorting through whatever you could possibly look for. You find bills. You find letters from loved ones, cards. You find old articles about people who graduated or somebody who died. You've been sorting through stuff. This is going to take a team to go through. You're one person. You can jump on it and start going, but you still have an investigation site over by the plastic plant to kind of catch up on too. It's a lot of shit happening.
Well, Elliot will make a call to Guantanamo and make sure that he can get a team out here to investigate all the paperwork.
So you explain to her what's going on,
Yeah,
and she's like, "Wait, what?" So the woman who disappeared, we found in the river, was having a panic attack, saying that she had a quest from God.
yeah. God's given me a task. Apparently she was poring over a bunch of different paperwork, and from what it looks like, it looks like nothing to me at this moment. There's graduation.
Please tell me you have some sort of reason to dig in this direction.
There could be a connection,
So you're going on a hunch.
a good hunch.
Is the family willing to go through all this?
He'll ask Sarah
She'll
if this is fine.
she'll say, "I have to talk to my husband Edward and let him know, and we can call him." So
Please
all right,
do.
we do the run rounds. She gets on the phone. Edward's like, "You guys are gonna dig through all my family stuff," because he's still very iffy about it. But through the conversation that you can see from her point of view, he agrees, and she says, "We still want to, please respect our things.
Of course.
You know, I want to know what you're taking. I'd like to, because you got to bring. So it's going to take a while. A team's going to come in with a warrant and be like, "This is our warrant. You said we can look. We're going to look." They actually don't
Yeah.
need a warrant with permission, but they're still going to get one.
Yeah, just to be safe. But yeah, Elliot will tell Guantana be like, yeah, they're willing to work with us.
Okay. She's like, "Okay, great. We'll get a team together. I'll get them out there tomorrow."
Perfect.
Do you have anything else you need to do out there? I mean, you could stay at the hotel this tonight.
There was something that she said that I was like, oh, I should go look at that, and now I can't think of it. Yeah, I'll probably book a hotel out here.
Okay.
I don't want to be driving back at like 3 in the morning.
All right.
But yeah, he'll hang up and he'll ask Sarah if Tessa had a diary or a journal that she wrote in or anything.
Frank would know. If it's in this house, it's in this house. Do you think there's something bad happened? Do you think somebody did this on purpose?
Possibly. It could also lead us to
Then
how
it's-
she ended up with the killer.
Then it's gonna. If there's anything in this house, I hope it helps. I hope you find him. I hope that her soul can rest, and I hope that this is all part of God's plan.
I'll tell the team to be extra careful with your belongings, and they'll be here in tomorrow or a couple of days.
Okay. Phone numbers are swapped.
Yep.
This is now out of your hands. Somebody else is going to start reading through these people's personal lives to figure out who or what Tessa's mission was, if they can, and how that might relate to this killer.
She might have ended up going through Willing. He's not going to say that out loud, but that's something just on the top of my head.
Ooh.
It could also be dates. Dates could be useful, of like if she's looking into other people's graduations and deaths. Yeah.
I mean, the most important thing is making sure this doesn't turn into a cold case. All right, so did you want to go by and check out the other investigation team working the retention pond?
That was it. That's the thing I had to do. Yes.
All right, you get out there. It's still marked off. The team is packing it in for the day.
Yeah, Elliot will pop out of his car, walk up to the group and kind of wave them down, ask if they found anything.
They found more of those strange tire marks. They have definitely found no paint on any of the fence, so whatever busted the fence open didn't scratch or leave any paint behind. And it doesn't look like it was cut. It looks more like it was just ripped up out of the ground. So they've got very little to go with there, but they took pictures of it and whatnot. Definitely definitely, they're finding nothing, but they're definitely making sure
Yeah,
that
they're not finding like, oh, well, a handprint. Like they're finding like enough to go on.
yeah, they're
Um
not like, oh, hey, we found a fingerprint. With that being said, you guys are hanging out there, and one of them says, part of our evidence gathering was also talking to the security guards. And apparently, on the night in March, one of the security guards wrote a entry about something happening we think is related. We went ahead and sent it off to Watanabe, but we found it earlier. We was talking to them earlier today. Here's the copy that we got from them, and he hands you over. It's a cheap little security guard name, date, incident, and then a written out description.
yeah.
And of course, the it says February 19th at 5:22.
February. Sorry, continue. That's
Yeah.
just weird.
No, February. Yeah, this is the relation with Tessa.
Yeah, but Tessa was. Oh, it is February. I'm thinking of March. I'm sorry.
March
My bad.
is
Continue.
yeah. February 19th, 5:20 in the morning. The guard notes that he saw a strange vehicle heading down the service road with multiple lights, and it made no noise. As far as the motor, it was the size of a semi-truck, and it had multiple lights, small ones, and the motor made no noise, and it moved very quickly down the road toward heading past the front gate. And you read through it, and that's literally it. That there's a map drawn out of which road it is. The guy really went into details. The agent you're talking to goes, "This is the same date that the woman disappeared. This is the same date, the assumed same date that the woman disappeared. This is the same assumed, and this is the assumed location. This is." He says, this guy wrote this down because he had nothing better to do and was something that stood out. He saw a semi-truck covered in LEDs with a motor that didn't make any noise. When you talk to him, that's what he's going to describe it as. Because that's what he told us this morning when we met up with him. A semi-truck covered in LEDs, and the motor made no noise. And I couldn't turn this one down.
He didn't take a picture or anything?
The man has a flip phone.
Of course he does.
Exactly. I said, the guy's like, I'm so bored. All of a sudden, big ass semi truck making no noise, flying down the road with little. It's like, that's so weird. I'm going to write this shit down. Look at that.
It's also the same day at 2:58. I don't know why that time's important on my notes, but
that's when Father Jones called the police and said something happened and my front door's been busted open.
That's the same date with the full moon.
Yep.
I mean, Elliot's gonna mention that out loud just because he's thinking out loud. Other than that, great. So I guess we're looking for a semi-truck that's covered in LEDs.
He just nods. Good luck.
Yeah. Thank you.
I would suggest an electric semi-truck because the motor made no noise.
Just for my own personal curiosity, I'd like to roll my supernatural, please.
Okay.
Just want to see if this vehicle matches up with any, like, I don't know, aliens or whatever. 2, 4, 5 out of...
I believe that's one of your top skills.
I think it is. Yeah, it's 13, paranormal.
You probably need to see this guy and talk to him about the light patterns that he's talking about. There's a good possibility that that information will definitely lead to something worthwhile. Because if the light patterns on this semi truck match up to something that you have read about, then bam, because there's like the streaming lights, the zigzagging lights. There's it subdued?
Was it in a triangle formation? Yeah. All those type of things. I feel ridiculous asking a person about supernatural things in an FBI investigation. But yeah, he'll if the security guard's on duty tonight, he'll ask him. If not, I guess it's not that big of a deal.
He is on tonight, so you'll just have to wait till the night shift, which starts at 12 o'clock.
Great, I'll wait.
All day.
Yeah, pretty much. There's nothing for me to do.
All right.
I'll assist the people packing up,
What's
but like other than
is
that,
this the 5th now?
It should be if it's at night.
Yeah, so it's the 5th. Because you drove out on the 4th, or did you drive out on the 5th?
I drove out on the 4th.
All right, so it's about to be the 5th. All right, so you go to your hotel or something, find some food, chillax out, wait for the dude. Midnight comes, you head out to the place. Doo-doo. You get there, and so you approach. Old black dude, old white dude, hanging out. They're smoking and laughing. As you come walking up, their glaucoma-covered eyes glare at you from in the dim light of the shed as you pull up and get out, and they're just like, they didn't even get up. They didn't. These guys are... You hope that smell. Oh, that smell. You know it.
No! I mean, it's not that important for an investigation, but like... okay. Great. Fantastic. Yeah,
So-
I'll walk over and introduce myself again if they
All right.
forgot.
Oh, they have never met you. You've not met these two. So this is your
Oh,
first
these are two new. Okay.
Yeah, well, they're not new. It's just you haven't met them.
Yeah.
They're the night shift guys. The whole place is shut down, so it's just these guys hanging out by the front door. It's a huge fence. They make a patrol. They've got a little golf cart. They introduce themselves, and I kid you not, random generator, Tom and Jerry. Actually, Thomas, but he goes by Tom.
Oh my god.
And the old black dude's name is Jerry. And they're just
Amazing.
enjoying a nice cigarello at night. They're happy to meet you, Mr. FBI person.
Great. Who was the security guard on the 19th?
That would be both of us. But Jerry says, I'm the one who wrote that report that everybody's talking about. I saw it. Nobody believes what I saw, but I saw it.
Did you happen to take a photo of it?
He shakes his head. No. It doesn't matter. Even if I had a photo, people would just tell me it's not real.
Well, do you know what kind of pattern these lights were in?
Oh, yeah. Whatever it is was big, and it moved very quickly. And the lights were like underneath, like it. So like it would be if your car was like clear in parts and you put lights behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Like behind the metal?
Yeah, and the light was coming through.
If I handed you a piece of paper, could you draw it?
No. I could sketch a bunch, but it's going to be stupid. But if you want me to, I was going to draw it in my report because that's the last thing I want to do is people would call me crazy.
I would like to see it.
He points at the high road over there and says, I saw it over there, so this is from a distance. And he draws like a semicircular blobby looking thing with some sort of big black, like I would describe it as front windshields, multiple front windshields across this blobby looking thing. And then he's like drawing little lines going, these little lines represent where the lights were at. And he just draws like the half of that he could see, because from where he's at to where it's at, there's high grass and whatnot cutting off just like the bottom half view. But he draws, and whatever he's drawing, your skill in supernatural is telling you that's an alien.
Yeah.
This is alien abductions.
Could be. But why every full moon?
A werewolf
I mean,
alien.
it's not werewolf alien. Um.
Shh, be quiet, honey. Because I told you to. That's why.
Well, Elliot's gonna thank them
Yeah.
for their time. Tell them to be on the lookout. Give them a look. Both looks at them and looks at their cigarette and gives them a judgmental look and walks away. And I don't care how late it is. He takes a picture of this drawing and sends it to Garrett, and it just goes, "Aliens! I told you, aliens!"
Oh my goodness.
Other than that, he'll drive back to his hotel, pass out,
Oh right.
unless he gets abducted.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So, middle of the night. Let's do this. All right, middle of the night, you get woke up. The old guys also described it as it was loud, but you couldn't hear a motor. So middle of the night, you hear a train honk, blow its horn somewhere nearby. Definitely wakes you up. That's got to be the worst thing ever, being a train conductor. It's like 2 a.m. You bitches are getting up. Wow.
I'm pretty sure the people who do that in the middle of the night, they love to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have a friend who loves to do it. I have a question,
Sure.
because it's been brought to my attention. You said this vehicle is like circular?
Yeah, he drew it very round. Round across the top, round around the sides. Some sort of bubble car. With, like, one big windshield on the right side, a semi-smaller windshield on the left side, another smaller windshield on the left side.
Does it have like a big roof to it?
I would say yeah.
Like a golf cart?
Maybe bigger than a golf cart.
Okay. I'm trying to think of other vehicles it could be. Did the guards say anything about carts that they've had?
No.
It was a very suspicious no. No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a Prius would be too small in comparison.
This is off a main highway, right?
No, yeah, they're this is definitely a back roadish area.
Okay. Small wheels. It can't be like a tractor.
1 second. Yeah. I have some old earplugs. Meow.
It's better than like a PT loser though. PT cruisers suck. That's why I call them PT losers. Because they're just so slow. Back roads. What kind of part of town is that area?
I would describe it as a failed suburban part of town.
Okay.
Couple of
So no one's-
businesses that are still thriving. Lots of more older housing. Nothing new. Gotta go like a couple of city blocks before you hit a McDonald's.
Okay, so it's not like back alley hick part of town where fucking Steve is driving a fucking shopping cart to get to the alcohol store.
I would definitely say that's a really good assumption.
Oh, would it?
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Failed suburbia.
Okay. I'm not good with vehicles. You know what I'm gonna do? In the morning of day 6, because it's gonna be April 6th, or rather April 5th, because night shift was, I'm guessing, at 12
Yep.
a.m. So I'm gonna take photographs of these prints, these photographs of those tire tracks. I'm gonna take them to an expert. I want to go to a car dealership or a mechanic or someone who makes cars. Ask around to see what they know.
All right.
I'm sure the company, our group has done that, but I want to, because that's just obvious. I feel like they
Yeah,
should have.
maybe it's something a local tire or something. So, we'll say you stop in like the first tire place near your where you're staying at. It's in the morning time. You begin talking to these guys. You show them the tire shape. They're gonna like stare at it like, that's definitely an odd rock climbing tire that's lost a couple of knobs on it and whatnot. When you start kind of going through the possibilities of the size of the vehicle and stuff, they're like, man, that's got to be like some sort of funny car or some sort of modified car. And then your phone goes off. It's a number that right off the bat you don't recognize.
Elliot will hand them the pictures and he'll just say, "Excuse me," and he'll walk away from them and answer it.
You hear a sound on the other side. It's not sure what it is. It starts off weird and gyrated. And then there's like a slight sucking sound. And then a male voice goes, I can think right now and I remember things. I remember things. I
Fred?
have it. I have it. It's got it all on here. Come see me. This is Frank. I remember right now. I don't know how long I will remember for.
All right. Well, I'll keep you on the phone, and he'll look at the two gentlemen, and he'll kind of like put his hand on his phone, and he basically takes the photos, and he'll be like, "I have to go, but thank you for your information."
Sure.
And
they're like, hey, if you need anything else, stop by.
yeah, and he'll hop in his car quite quickly, and he'll start asking Frank questions. Maybe he'll just, all right, well, tell me what you're thinking.
There's this tape I made when I remembered everything, and I'm holding on to it right now, and it's important. I saw you, I remember you came by, and then there's this number on my phone and this number on Sarah's phone. I knew what's going on. I know these things.
Are you in the house right now, Frank?
I am.
Put the
Sarah's gone
tape
to town.
Put the tape somewhere in, for example, a tea kettle, a sugar jar, somewhere where you're not gonna find it if you blank.
I'm gonna put it right here by the on top of the microwave.
Microwave. I'm on my way right now.
Okay.
Now, is there anything else that you can just rattle off to me what's going on in your brain?
I miss her.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know
you
it's
can
hard.
hear the sound in his voice. He's cracking up. And then he cries. And there's a sigh. And it's quiet.
Frank? Mr. Von Hawk?
Hi.
Hello. Welcome back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not. I forgot. I must have dozed off or something. Who? Uh. Did you call me?
I did.
Oh. Oh, how can I help you?
Is, Sarah there?
Oh, I don't know where she's at. I'm waiting for her and Tessa to come home. Who is this?
Well, I'm on my way right now. I'm a friend of Sarah's. I'm... How far am I away from this place?
Minutes.
I'm almost there, so... Make sure you answer the door.
Okay. All right. Well, what's your name?
Elliot.
All right, Elliot. I'll see you soon.
Perfect.
So you hang up,
Yeah.
and you get there, and you see Frank on the other side of the door because you knock. He walks up. He's on the phone, and he opens the door a little bit. Goes, Elliot.
Yes,
Oh yeah, yeah, Sarah. You're right. Elliot, nice looking young man, suit. Okay. I guess I've just never met you. Sarah says you can come on in. She'll be home soon.
oh, thank you. And he'll step in, be polite, take off his shoes,
Of
whatever.
course. Take shoes
Um,
off. He offers you a drink.
Yes.
Has a seat down. He's watching TV in the kitchen. He starts telling you about the show he's watching. He doesn't understand how this guy is a doctor. He's not making any sense. He's watching Dr. Oz.
I'm gonna make some sort of excuse that my drink is cold, and I'm gonna try heating it up in the microwave.
There is a VHS tape on top of
A
the microwave.
VHS tape. Wow, a VHS tape.
A VHS tape.
That's old. Not just like a tape. VHS tape. I'll grab it and look over it, unless...
Like, you're like, where am I going to find the tech for this?
It's pretty much like Elliot's thinking. He's like, I mean, I have an old
Actually, no, it wouldn't be a
VHS player.
What was the was that with his after VHS? There were the compact tapes.
Yeah, those. Why can't I think of them? They're
We're just gonna because we don't know. No, Betamax was before VHS. We'll call them compact tapes. So it's a compact tape.
making the shape of them. Yeah, those small ones that you can put in like Walkmans.
Yeah.
Um.
But this is for video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fuck. Elliot wouldn't have that on hand unless his VHS came with something
We're
like
probably
that.
gonna let's just like fast forward it. This old man had something with a USB in it, so we just don't make it too complicated.
There we go.
It's the only possible thing on top of the microwave.
But yeah, he'll heat up his drink, and I'd like to sleight of hand this tape. Unless...
The USB drive. Sure, not a problem. He's not gonna
Yeah.
pay attention.
Great.
So Sarah shows up, and you hung out with Frank for a little bit. It's definitely kind of like a moment. He's completely fine. He's like trying to figure out why he's got tears in his eyes and stuff like that. He's like, I don't know what's going on. He's gonna watch this funny, weird show. Sarah comes in, asks what's going on. What do you tell her?
He'll take her to the side, and set his drink down. I was in the middle of a investigation when Frank called me. He apparently remembered something and he needed to tell me. He told me that he recorded everything on a tape, and I'll show her the tape that he
Okay.
palmed.
She's like, oh my goodness. Well, I have, she says, I have a computer. Do you need to go watch it? I mean, she doesn't know
Yes.
what needs to happen next.
I believe we should play this, and I think you should be there to watch it. So,
Okay. So she'll take you in the den. They have a small computer there. And she begins getting things set up. You get a message from Garrett. This is like everything's happening at one moment, by the way.
yeah.
You get a message from Garrett. Video from Waldendorf. Waldendorf is back. We've got confirmation of something. Father Reed's kidnapping.
Confirmation of the kidnapping?
Confirmation of the kidnapping and possible kidnapper.
Perfect. I'll be back home in an hour or so. I'm busy.
You might have been right.
What?
Yeah, you might have been right. Watanabe does not want this video footage leaked out to anywhere, so the only way you're going to see it is you come back to DC for right now.
Alright, I'll be there in an hour or so.
Like I said, that's what she wants.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know.
You pop off the phone, and you walk over and sit down with Sarah to watch a video. In it, you get to watch Fred in his moments of lividity begin speaking. He says, Tessa's gone, and I'm not sure what happened or how it happened. And they found her body, and it's so confusing. But she kept saying for that day that Father Jones is a terrible person. She said she had proof that the church had moved him up here because of what he did out in New York. Father Jones seems like a nice man, but if he killed Tessa, he should burn in hell. She said she had evidence that he was touching children. She had a tape recording of a confession she had got through somebody over in the New York Police Department. She had all this stuff, and I've screwed up. I've screwed up so bad. I've lost it all. I know what it looks like. I really do. I believe her, but it's all gone now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And it tapers off from there as he goes into blaming his dementia. He goes into saying things like how he believes that something bad happened and it must be because of this, because she was trying to confront him about what had happened. And then near the end, he confesses about his heart medicine, that he doesn't want to forget taking it, because without it, he would die. But he wants to forget taking it because he wants to be with her, because he screwed up.
This poor man.
And then pretty much at some point in time, he apologizes and says he's going to try to remember, that Edward and Sarah's going to come over and he's going to go stay with them. Hopefully he can have moments and he can remember things. He doesn't want to forget her. And, that he loves her and wishes God to take care of her. And then he turns off the video. Sarah is in tears.
Yeah.
She's destroyed.
Yeah. Elliot's gonna do his best to comfort her. Put an arm around her shoulder, rub her back, type of thing.
Right.
And nonchalantly just go, I'm gonna need this tape. I'm gonna need a copy of it at least.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you'll give her a copy. I mean,
Yeah.
technically, this is evidence to
Yeah,
like
definitely.
something that she can't get a copy of. So technically, she can't get a copy because that's evidence.
Old shit too.
Right.
But I think yeah, Elliot will take like a UBS we said it was instead.
Yeah, USB.
USB, sorry. Um and he'll I mean if it's on the computer,
Yep.
he'll copy that file
Mm-hmm.
and he'll put it on the computer and he'll take the flash drive and basically there she has something.
She goes into the other room and cries and hugs him, and he hugs her back. It's like everything's going to be okay, you know. And the whole world starts crashing down for her. She's asked who she can tell.
You can tell your husband, but other than that keep it down on hush. And he'll thank her and he'll happily thank Frank and or Fred and
Fred.
you know give him a friendly smile wave like oh I'll see you guys later type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll nod to them and he'll start driving back to DC.
All right. You drive back into DC around traffic time, so what should only take like an hour and a couple of minutes ends up taking like 3 hours to get back to the office. As you wander through, everything seems up to be good until you get into the office with everybody else as they're working on things, and you know the normal office noise is there, but everybody else is really fucking quiet. I mean, you, a trained professional in weird shit, walk in as the door closes. People look up to you, turn, notice you. Nobody says anything. No smiles come across anybody's face.
That's awkward. Yeah, I imagine he comes in, he's taking off his coat, and people look up, and he's like, "Hi, guys!" Like, he'll make his way to Garrett because he's the one that called him,
Yep.
and Guantanamo, wherever she is.
You guys get a chance to sit down and watch the video. It's CCTV. It's good. It's decent quality. I mean, shit, you wish all CCTV was this quality.
Yeah.
Until, you know, you see what happens. Father Reed is walking down the street. You get to see him heading out for his walk. You know, as you see him walking and stuff, he passes by this camera. And then, later on, Father Reed is walking back. He's doing his normal walk. And then all of a sudden there's a little girl on the sidewalk behind him. Out of nowhere.
The fuck?
And you see the father, he's walking away. And she reaches out her hand and he stops. This is a little girl with like blonde hair and very pale skin. She's maybe like, 3.5 foot tall. The father turns, looks at her. This is at 3 o'clock in the morning. And he walks back over. And this is, of course, she's on the sidewalk a short distance away from one side of the theater, more toward the library side. And so he walks back up to her and starts talking to her. And you can kind of see he's kind of gesturing, making a hand gesture. And she reaches up and grabs a hold of his hand. And he's just like, okay. And they start to kind of walk off. And then he pulls his hand back. And she reaches out and grabs him by the wrist and pulls his ass to the ground. He begins fighting, and the little girl begins walking backwards, dragging him along, yanking him like as a rag doll into the darkness. And this is 1 a.m. where our show comes to an end.
Good ending.
Well, I'd like everybody to. I'd like to thank everybody for showing up.
Mm-hmm.
I've really had
Staying with
fun
us,
with this
too.
part. Yeah, you guys stayed with us. So this is the part where we do our wind down and our chit chat about the stuff that we do, because we want you guys to join us in our shows and
Yeah.
hang out with us, and you guys do. So Paige, would you like to go first?
Sure. I don't have any links at the moment, but hello. I can do that while talking. I'm
Sure.
Paige. Paige Jones. Yes. Agent Jones is because Elliot Jones. Uh, but I'm normally on Shadowcasters Network, um, where I play Shadowrun Anarchy every other Monday, which you can catch up uh, with us on YouTube on their YouTube. I also play Thomas on Shattered Isles,
Oh
which
yeah.
is every other Saturday, which is coming up soon.
We are
I
actually not have this
Oh
next Saturday.
right.
We're skipping this whole month. We will not be back until the 1st of June.
Yeah. So you guys can I think catch up on that
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. Um I honestly don't know where. But I'm sure we can solve it. But other than that, I have Once Upon a Tabletop this 22nd, this Wednesday coming up. Uh, we are playing time stories, time agents basically that
Mm-hmm.
try basically they get a mission. They put themselves into receptacles, meaning like people in that time period. We play as those people.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's we played it a little bit with like we did a zombie apocalypse type of theme type thing. We did like an insane asylum one. It has hints of supernatural things. It has hints of like realism. It's really fun. Uh, and I'm excited to do the next one because it has something. It's called Dragon something, and it sounds very medieval, and
Ooh.
I'm all about that aesthetic.
Being a time
So
traveler, ending up in
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, but other than that, real life page is an artist, and that's my main job. That's where I get my main income and everything. So you can go there. You can go to my Instagram or Twitter. I also have a Discord that I didn't put in chat. Um, but if you like the artwork that I'm doing, I do commissions, and I don't have anything like sale wise going on. You missed out on that, um, but yeah, that's me. I also do some voice work. So if you like my tone of voice and want to hear me speak into your ears more, hire me. But other than that, I do mainly art, and I think that's about it. I don't really have that much going on.
I believe
Sorry.
that's actually quite a bit.
I mean it is. I mean I'm gonna be more busy in June,
Right.
hopefully. But yeah, that's I think I had more when Night Witches was going on, honestly. I remember
Yeah.
having a week where I was like, I have this and this and this
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this.
Night Witches just end. That, by the way, that
Yeah.
was a good show.
Thank you. Yeah. It was amazing. Scrim did an amazing job.
She did.
Um
I'm terrible at keeping up and watching them, but I've tried to do a couple of them. Plus, of course, I get to hear the background, and Cassie talks
yeah.
about them.
You could watch them on YouTube.
That's true.
Plugs.
So, of course, I'm Max. I run games at Original Box Set. Um, I hope you guys were interested. I hope this mystery weirdness has been rolling out pretty cool for you guys. I like creepy, weird stuff as far as it goes for stories, and I've got 30 years worth of experience running games under my belt to help me guide myself into the what the fuck moments. Um, so, yeah, if you guys like this, every other Friday night, we're going to be Friday Night Frights. Uh, we had a schedule. I was keeping up with the events. I became a terrible person. I stopped keeping up with events. I'm going to
Good
fix
job.
it at some point in time. You can go onto our website. Man, we've got a website. Did you catch that,
Yeah.
right? It's got a
Website.
calendar on it.
So fancy.
I know, right? This is what the website looks like. Do not judge me for the fact I don't keep up with my website. I got a lot of stuff going on. We all do. So this is my hobby. I do this in my spare time. But please judge like the content of the game because I think it's pretty good.
I love this game so far.
Excellent.
I like the slow build up because I think
It
I
was
think
really
it was
nice and slow, wasn't it?
I think I was telling you about this because like in normal campaigns and normal games and normal Shadowrun games, whatever games, if there's a mystery that's happening, especially in RPG tabletops, it's usually instant. It's usually like you find the evidence right away. You can put two and two together and be like, oh yes, Marcus killed Philip
Yeah.
because of this. This campaign is the mystery, so it's going to be slow and patient because everything is connected. Everything
Yep.
has some sort of thing, and with all the people that you've created, they have to have their own backgrounds
They
and
do.
personality and stuff like that, and that
Yeah.
takes a lot of work and
Yeah.
patience. So
And thank you very much. I appreciate that awareness of the work that's gone into it.
yeah.
Um, it took a lot of NPC generating. So,
Yeah.
if you guys like what we're doing here, original box set, we have a Twitch. Follow us if you really like. Subscribe, and I would love that. Catch us. We generally have something on some Sundays, some Mondays. If you follow us, you can get notifications. We have a Twitch. We have, Twitter. We have an Instagram. We have a Facebook.
So
I
many
should
places.
have some links, but it's 1 o'clock and I probably should get to bed. The wife needs to get up and do stuff. I got a gym to go to in the morning. And so, what I'm going to tell you guys is go onto our website, look at our About Us, and you'll find links to a lot of the things we already have. In the meantime, stay creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, everybody.
Night, guys.